Hello. See if it's all working. I like to get a little bit early. I'm always on time. I'm always early. My wife hates that. I always get there early. Right. So we've got a little project today, and I want to try and get through it. So here we go. May or may not fix it. It's just to show you what I'm looking at. And it's this thing just here on the bench there. That's power supply. That's what I want to try and fix today. I've already been playing around with it a lot and diagnosing things and trying to figure out what's going on. So it's got some potential, and there's a good chance we can fix it today. But there's one part which is a particular problem. We'll see what that is. Whether that part is bad or what, I'm not quite sure yet. So yeah, it's better. It's pretty early here. I'm still trying to wake up. I have a Danger Mouse coffee. Yeah, you have to have Danger Mouse coffee. Right. So hopefully things go alright. I mean, audio looks good there. Should be okay from the other side of the desk. Everything's looking set up good. Cool. So I've got the chat open as well, so if you want to chuck comments in the chat, please do. I'll try and get through them and do a bit of a Q&A as well. You know, I'm always, if I'm doing a live stream, by all means ask questions and stuff. It's absolutely fine. It's not just about me broadcasting, just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, and you know, watch. It's just, you know, I like a bit of interaction there. You know, get to chat to people to watch me and get opinions and that sort of stuff. It's all good. So a bit of history here. I picked up this power supply off eBay, and basically one channel doesn't work. Now the interesting thing is about this is the guy I bought it from seemed to know me. So I think he watches the channel. Yeah, he seemed to recognise Defpom, you know. So I think it's actually a viewer I bought it from, which is quite cool. So it was advertised as channel 2 not working, and I'll demonstrate that shortly and go through and show you what's actually happening there. Channel 1 is working absolutely fine. No problems at all with that. And I've spent probably about 3 or 4 hours already just doing tests, checking voltages, that kind of thing. And yeah, I'll check it back up here again now. Right, so it's channel 1's working fine. It's pretty accurate. Voltages readings aren't perfect and there's a bit of calibration and stuff like that, but not a big deal. Channel 2 is basically stuffed. But I can make it work. I'll show you what I'll do to that to actually trick it to work. And I've got through a list of stuff which I need to pull up. I need to try and get that. Oh, hold on. My Twitter's just gone something. What's going on there? Okay. So TubeBuddy replied to a tweet I put up there saying the app doesn't work properly. Right. Let's get some stuff up here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Get some diagrams and stuff like that going, so you can see. I've got to load these up on my other screen. I don't have all this all prepared already, but my computer crashed. It's like, so I'll start again. That's it up there. Circuit diagram, where's that gone? Here we go, pulled it up. Show us the top screen as well. So I did have it already. My computer decided it didn't want to work anymore and shut down, and I've got to start all over again. Anyway, it happens. So I was going to try and get down to the relevant points in the diagram to show you. There's a few points here I need to cover. Once I figure out which page it's on. So I can demonstrate what's wrong with this thing and show you a workaround for one of the faults and explain what I think the second fault is and demonstrate that as well, and then we're going to try and fix it. I'm trying to get everything up on screen, come on. I think I need like 4 screens or something. I'm also going to be recording video at the same time as I'm doing this live stream to try and capture footage for the actual repair work. Which diagram is that 01? Yes, it is. Okay. Right. Nearly there. Nearly there. Got some diagram stuff I can show you as well once I'm into it. Right. Let's pull up the top screen. I'll show you where I'm at. So disorganised, not good. Right, top screen, top screen. Here we go. So this is a circuit diagram for the channel 2 section, and it's fairly big. This is just channel 2. This isn't any control circuitry like the processor or anything like that. This is purely the actual analog system in that bit there. And channel 1's identical. It's almost almost exactly the same, if I can say it. But it does have a couple of small differences. Channel 2 uses opto-isolators, opto-couplers, whatever you want to call them, to feed back signals to the processor so it knows what voltage is doing and current is doing and stuff like that for read back on display. Now there's actually some quite good videos done by Jerry Sweeney. He hasn't posted in a while though. I haven't seen, he hasn't done a video for like a year or something, which is a shame because he did good videos. I'd actually like to see him turn up again, but he did a good video on the power supply, and I was actually looked at those and it gave me a bit of a insight to some of the things, and I actually found myself looking at some of the same areas, interestingly. So this is, for rudimentary terms, right, power supply input from the main transformer here. Bridge rectifier, as you'd expect, going to DC, and it goes through a first MOSFET here. And there's also a second MOSFET. There's 2 series MOSFETs, which you think normally that's a bit odd. But what it's actually doing is switching this one on and off, well, acting like a resistor effectively, right? In order to reduce the loading on the other one. If you had one MOSFET trying to reduce down from the main supply voltage of above 20 volts down to 1 volt, that's a lot of drop off for it. You know, it's quite heavy loading. So what they've actually done, they've got 2 MOSFETs running in series to spread the loading, which is an interesting concept. Top part here is a closed loop system, and it's monitoring the voltages, and then it compensates on this MOSFET for whatever's coming out of this one. Basically, it does like a bit of compensation. So based on the setting and what it's actually doing, it'll adjust the voltages in this MOSFET in order to reduce the stress on this one. This is the main MOSFET, which is the most important one, which is the one I've got an issue with right now, not turning on, right? So in this channel 2 circuit, the first MOSFET is on, there's voltage coming out of it, it's doing its thing. Second MOSFET is off, right? So you can see here it's got a feedback here through this op amp, which then goes to this control circuitry, or it's control IC, right? It's PWM IC, and that is then coming back through to run this MOSFET, right? So it's a closed loop. It's looking at the point from this MOSFET here, after that MOSFET, and after this one, it's looking at both of them. So it's controlling both this MOSFET based on what they're both doing. Hey Ian, how's it going? Hey Kim. Yeah, well, in my case, both the MOSFETs are working okay. I've already narrowed it down to that. I've checked those. So yeah, interesting coincidence. But the circuitry in this is very similar to the 3630 series, right? It's very similar. There's a lot of parallels there between them. Physically they're different, but electrically they're very similar. I was looking at those diagrams as well. I think I was looking at the 32, E3632 I think it was. Something like that. I was looking at those originally, until I found the diagram for this one, which wasn't that easy to find, but I did find it. So I'm going to publish this somewhere as well. I'll chuck it on my website, I think. I'll probably put a project page up for it and put all my files up there, my test notes, that sort of stuff. So, as I say, the second MOSFET isn't passing any voltage through it. Up to that point, on its, is it drain? I'll come back. Yeah, that side there, it's got voltage. That side, nothing. The gate voltage is not right. If you look on this diagram here, I'll zoom up here so you can see a bit better. on this control line here, which feeds that second MOSFET, it's got a note that's saying 3 volts. Well, no, wasn't getting that. Alright, so it varies a bit too. Now this V2 is a power supply line, so that's actually what's dragging the MOSFET on. Right, so that's supplying the gate. These other lines here, from CR114, CR108, CR107, they actually drag it down. So it controls it by reducing the voltage through these op amps here. Right, so it's got control op amps which feed back. And from U139. Now U139 here is the key to this whole problem. Yeah. Yeah, the schematics are very similar, Kim, very similar. So what I did to narrow this down to where the fault was coming from, so I was getting a low voltage on here. I can't remember what it was now. I think it was like 0 volts or something. I didn't write it down. Oh, where is it? Let's find that. On the gate of MOSFET 2, I was getting 0.3 volts, right? 0.3 was the voltage I was getting at that point on a gate, regardless of what the output setting was, turned on or off, whatever, didn't matter. I was getting 0.3 volts. Now, so what I did is I measured it on both sides of these diodes, right? So obviously this side is going to be the same for all of them, but on the cathode side, I measured each of those 3 diodes to try and determine which one was dragging it down, right? Because obviously one of them is. So this one here is like 13 volts. 108 was about 13 volts. 107 was lower. I think it's about minus 0.3 or something like that. I think it was something like that. Okay. So I knew that this line here was being dragged down. And there's the reset pin there. Right? So it's actually a reset output from this voltage regulator. Right? This is a CS8122. You can see I've added some notes on here. Right? That wasn't actually marked saying what it is. It just said this, generic HP part numbers you get, right? But the part itself has CS8122 on it. So great. I looked up, found the data sheets for that and that sort of stuff, and explained how it worked. And this is basically a 5 volt voltage regulator, low dropout voltage regulator. I might fix those again. And you can see the output from the regulator doesn't actually go anywhere. Right? It's just got a low resistor and a capacitor on it to help smooth out any noise on the output. So it's just a bit of loading on the voltage regulator. It's not actually doing anything, right? Because you can see the output is going back to this ground rail, right? So they're both going to the same place. So the output isn't even used. So they've only got those on there for stability, which means they're only using the reset output. Now, reading the data sheet on this, it took me a little while to find it, and what I've discovered, if I pull the data sheet up I can explain it, hopefully, if I can find the data sheet. Here it is. And it explains how it all works and stuff like that, but one of the things it mentions in here, I don't remember where it is in there now, but yeah, it might be in this top section here, but the in short, what it does is the reset output will only come on, or rather shut off, from 0 volt to go to 5 volt if the 5 volt output is made, right? So if it reaches its 5 volt output setting, as it's supposed to because it is a voltage regulator, hi Yoshi, then the reset line will go high and that's it, it's finished its job, right? So it's really just there for a turn on delay. That's what it's doing. So when you first power the unit up, instead of potentially having a voltage surge come out because that MOSFET turns on, it's using this as a delay line to stop any voltage spikes coming out the outputs. Okay, so that's a really sensible thing to do. Great design decision. But this part seems to have failed, or something around it has failed. I'm not quite sure yet. I've got to dig in that this morning. That's what we're going to find out. So their output line is staying low all the time, as I said, for that diode, which is dragging down the MOSFET, so the MOSFET isn't turning on. Okay, so what I found is because the output voltage isn't reaching 5 volts. I'm trying to find this mention in here. I think it might be in the top cover. I think it must be at the top. Anyway, it's in here somewhere. I did read it, but so because it's not reaching 5 volts, the reset line doesn't turn off. It's a bit like a supervisor IC in that way, you know. So if it's got a bad output, or there's a power glitch, it will reset and then come back on again, right? It'll do a reset. But because it's never reaching that 5 volt threshold, or its output voltage, whatever that threshold actually is, I'm not quite sure what the threshold really is, it doesn't reset the reset line, so the reset stays low. RF engineering course lab report on VNA measurements. Yeah, it sounds complicated. Right, so that's what I narrowed it down to, right? Is that this voltage regulator, even though the regulator itself doesn't go anywhere, it's not reaching 5 volts, and so the reset stays low. Right, so I've said that a few times now, repeated myself somewhat. So I need to determine whether it's this capacitor here, or they've got a C question mark on the diagram. It's actually C184. And I've tested the output. There's resistance wise to ground, it looks okay, right? It don't look like it's overloaded, but it could be a bad cap. It could be this bad cap, right, from the delay line. Maybe this is bad and it's causing a problem with the chip. Well, the IC is it's actually a TO220 device with a 5-pin, 5-leg design. So I'm going to try replacing this capacitor as well, just in case that is what's wrong. It could be that, you don't know. I did test it and it did seem of value. It's only, I was getting 5 UF instead of 10 UF. So it may be an indication that, hey, this is not right. So this chip is obsolete. You cannot get it anymore. They're gone. You can't buy them. I've been looking around, even tried UT Source. UT Source don't have any stock. Can't get them. So that makes it a bit tricky to repair if this chip is actually gone. Well, it's not a chip, it's an IC, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to demonstrate all this now. I'll go under the bench and I'll demonstrate what I found and show you the workarounds I've put in, which proves what's going on. You know, part of diagnosis is narrowing not just what it is, but also what it isn't. People which are experienced with that will know that. 8 pages of bullshit later. Yeah. I can't say I've done anything like that. I mean, I'm self-taught electronics. Right? I taught myself electronics. I've been doing electronics since I was 7, right? And it's basically my parents' fault they had to put up with me. They used to give me old broken TVs and to want to put them apart and take the components out, so I could desolder components when I was 7 or 8 years old. Probably not well, but I could get them out without breaking them. And ever since then I've been doing electronics, and I got into it more when I was doing CB work when I was sort of 13, 14. I got into it a bit more, actually doing repairs, stuff like that. That's just sort of snowballed from there really, but so now I'm here doing this. In case anyone's interested in my history. So, and I'm saying I'm self-taught. I've never done any proper training, no education, just what I've figured out along the way. I think there's a lot of people that are like that too, you know, people just have a bit of a passion for it and I just enjoy it. And that's why I do the YouTube channel. I enjoy doing this, you know, it's great. And I like to share, you know, what I'm doing. Started in mid-20s and going to college for it. Hey, look, if you enjoy it, go for it, you know. Sometimes it takes you a while to figure out what you like. I figured out quite early I like electronics, so I was quite fortunate that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to power this thing up. I'm going to show you the fault, and then I'm going to show you, well, it's actually got 2 faults, and one of them wasn't there originally. It's actually developed as I was doing testing. It actually appeared, so it's a bit unfortunate, but it happens. I'm going to demonstrate this fault. I'm going to show you what it's doing, what it's not doing. I'm going to show you the workaround, which I've done just to prove what it is. And I'll discuss then what I'm going to potentially do to fix this. If it is the IC, then I've actually ordered some parts which aren't the right parts, but it's a workaround. And then we'll start fixing it, right? So I'm going to try and replace this capacitor here for a start, and maybe this one here too. And then we'll start fixing it, right? So I'm going to try and replace this capacitor here for a start, and maybe this one here too. I'm going to try and replace this capacitor here for a start, and maybe this one here too. And then we'll start fixing it, right? So I'm going to try and replace this capacitor here for a start, and maybe this one here too. just to see how we go. And then we'll also look at the second fault which it has, which should be hopefully fixable. I'm not certain of what it is, but I've got a pretty good idea. I'm like 95% sure of what's wrong, and I'll demonstrate that too. What I found, why I believe it's that part. It's basically an opto-coupler. I'll show you what I mean. Let's bring this diagram out. I'll show you the other part I'm talking about, the other fault. And it's got these opto-couplers in here. These are all feedback circuits. There's 5 of them here for voltage sensing, current limit, voltage limit, and like the crowbar over voltage thing. Right? Which one was it? It was 115. That one there. Right. So this opto-coupler here is a voltage monitor for channel 2. So VMON 2.2. Now that is there. That if I trick the circuit to work, so I can actually get an output, then you actually see that all there. So the voltage feeding into this circuitry is there, okay, and it's got like a feedback op amp here and a drive transistor, and then it's got another output op amp which then feeds out to the controller and displays modules, stuff like that. Okay, so this voltage here should be changing. I'll explain what the fault is because I haven't said that what it is. The voltage reading on display doesn't work. LM2925. Okay, I have to look that up. I'll make a note of that. Got some pen. That number sounded familiar. I think I might have seen that mentioned somewhere actually. I think I might have done. Right, thanks for that. I'll check that out later. So the voltage display currently just says -5 volts all the time, and when I first got it, it said -0.27 volts, and it didn't change regardless of what the output was. If the output was on or off, didn't matter. It still said -0.27 volts, which is obviously wrong because the laser can go down to 0 volts. And once I tricked the unit to actually power the channel, so that I got power output from the channel, so the voltage came on, which I'll demonstrate in a second. Then I noticed that the display said -5 volts. Is at that point when I noticed it, because I started looking at it thinking, okay, this is a change of display. Then I noticed that the display had changed, right? Because previously it was actually reading the correct voltage, which was -0.27. Then it's only saying -5 volts, sorry, and it says that all the time regardless of what's going on. So it's got a second fault, which is what this is all about. Okay, so what I believe is this U115 is blown, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why I believe that. Okay, cool, good stuff. At least you figured out what you like, Yoshi. Right, let's go to the bench and we'll start looking at some stuff here and we'll see what we get. Where are we at? Desk. Here we go. So I shall demonstrate the I'll demonstrate this thing first. This U139. I'll leave it up on view so you can see what I'm doing. Now, between pin 1 is the input. Now it's got a 12 volt Zener here. That's like 20 something volts coming in. I think it's like 12 volts coming in, something like that. I can't remember now. 24, 12 volts, 24. I can't remember what voltage coming in now. I have to look at it. But that's there. The output is only measured about 2 volts. And what I'm basically going to do to demonstrate that channel 2 does indeed work is I'm going to jump from the input to the output with a resistor, right? Just momentarily. Right? I did that as a troubleshooting technique just to try and narrow down if I can force it to come high, so will it release the reset line? And the answer there is yes, it will. Alright, so I thought maybe it's just something, just clamping it down enough, it can't quite reset properly, it doesn't quite, it's latching or something, So I just stuck a 4.7k resistor between the input and the output. The output came on to 5 volts. The reset line dropped off, well, it went high, and then the unit then works. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate that. So let's have a look. Now I've got my DC load set up here, which I'm going to use to show you the loading as well, to show you it does produce current, although it's a bit small on screen, I'm afraid. I'm also going to get my camera running too. So let's power this up. And let's get my camera running as well. So I want to record what I'm doing. Right, so first I'm going to show you that it doesn't work, and I'll show you the fault, and then I'll go through and show you what I'm doing to make it work. Then we'll try and fix it. Okay, camera's recording. So output is off. If I turn the output on, channel 1, which it defaults to, you can see the channel 1. The 1 up, that works, okay, and there's actually a voltage there. If I turn this meter on, hopefully you can see that over there. Right, and if I plug the meters, I'll plug them both into this one for now, plug them both in channel 1. Right, so I'm getting 6 volts channel 1, I'm getting 6 volts over here as well. Right, if I turn the load on, 1 amp, 1 amp, right, so that's working just fine. Okay, now if I chuck it on channel 2, and I show you channel 2, right, it says minus 5 volts. Like I said before, when I first got it, it said minus 0.27, which was the actual output voltage. So it was originally reading correctly, but something's happened to it and it's failed whilst I've been diagnosing it. So that is output on, and you can see I've got minus 0.27 volts basically on the meter here. This doesn't say, it doesn't go below 0. If I was to turn the load on, there is no loading, there's nothing happening here, right? There is just nothing, okay? So that demonstrates the fault in channel 2. I have to be careful because it's got mains voltage down one side, so I've got to be a bit careful about how I'm handling it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I do to make it come on. So you know, so you can stuck tape over here to make sure I don't touch it accidentally, hopefully. Now over here is U139, it's actually marked on the bottom of the board as well. And it's, I say, 5 pins, so I'm going to touch between 1 and 2 with a resistor. And you can see I've still got the output reading on there. It's currently, I don't know what it's set to. It's wind it all the way up. The display doesn't change, but the output does. The control output is still trying to change. So it's 4.7k resistor. That seems not a nice value to make this work. So if I probe between channel 1, channel 2, touch those together. There we go. Takes a half a second or so. But there we go, we've now got outputs. 8 volts on the output. 8 volts on the output. Okay, so it's forced the output to come on because it's caused that transistor to now turn on, or that IC to now turn on. And it's actually putting out 5 volts now, constantly. It just needs a little bit of a help to get it going, and then it's okay. Which is a little bit interesting. Let's put this up again so you can see it. And other camera can see it, that's the main reason I'm doing it. Alright, so although you still no voltage reading, okay, it's putting at 8 volts, still nothing on display. If I turn on the load, 1 amp loading, 1 amp on display. So the current feedback is correct. Right. So the only thing that's not working as far as readings is the channel 2 voltage, and obviously that MOSFET not being turned on. So that's the 2 faults it seems to have. Right. So it's a nice simple workaround to get that one working. If I just stuck a resistor across there, that would fix that, but it's obviously not the right way of doing it. Then I've got to fix this feedback. So that's the thing I'm going to try and fix today as well, and on the live stream, is to fix that feedback and see how we go from there, and try and replace those parts around that U139 and see if any of those things help, because it might not be U139, it might be something else around it. At least that's what I'm hoping. Okay, so let's just change this back. Right, so now you've seen the fault. So actually I'll shut this back off again. Don't like leaving things powered unless I need to. Right, So yeah, it's been an interesting troubleshooting process. So I'm going to show you the measurements and stuff already done. Let's go to the top screen and show you. So just here. So this is what I've basically been testing already. So these are the voltages that I've been checking. These are what I've actually got. So some of these I know were wrong, and I identified those, but there wasn't much. Basically everything checked out. Right. So interesting thing about the supply is that it's got, because both channels are isolated from each other, you have to make sure you're always using the correct reference point for the voltage measurements. So, and that changes around to about 4 different places. So you have to be a bit mindful of that. So this is all the measurements there. So hopefully that's readable on screen for you. I've made it as big as I can on this screen to still be able to fit it width-wise on there. All right. So hopefully this will be useful. I better turn my camera off. Oh, left it recording. And turn it off. Okay. So I measured various stages. Now this has got bias supplies and power supplies and local bias supplies. It's got a lot of voltages to check. Right. So I basically went through the diagrams, looked for any Zener diodes, any kind of regulators, that sort of thing, and measured them and made sure that what I saw made sense. If you hear any rough cardboard in the background, it's my cat. She's asleep on the box and she decided to wake up. One of the cats anyway. So a lot of this is just power supply stuff, right? It's just bias supplies, power supplies, and I've gone through this. All the voltage I've measured, every single one of these things I've checked. Now just here is the testing of the MOSFETs. Okay, so I did 2 tests with power on and power off, both set at 0 volts or 5 volts. In order to do comparisons, say both channels are basically identical, and because of that, you can actually use one to check the other. Right, so you can do comparisons between the two. It's obviously, one's working. If they're both broken, you might not be able to do that, but at least maybe not so easily. So what it's told me is that channel 1. This is the channel 1 measurements here. So I've got Q at 0 volts. That's the voltage I was getting on the first MOSFET here, and that's the second MOSFET there, right? And that's the output voltage there. Okay, so 0 volts and 5 volts at 5 volt scale on the 5 volt output, right? So you can see that that's what I'm getting through it. So the first MOSFET is on, and then. Yeah, it's just, you can see it sort of scales the input voltage into the second MOSFET, and then it changes depending on what's going on. Right? Now channel 2 is very different. Right? Obviously this voltage is here a bit higher because there's no loading on it either. If I get this minus 0.27, it's obviously because of the isolated supplies and stuff like that. And there's the output voltage there, that minus 0.27, regardless whether it's on or off. Okay. But what this told me is that these voltages here are fairly high, right? So it's trying to power it, but it just doesn't work. So, and there's the gate there. There's that 0.37 I was getting on the gate, which told me that, hey, I've got an input voltage of 4.7 volts at 5 volt setting, and the gate's turned off. It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to work the gate's not on. And that's when I started going through this process here, diagnosing each, checking resistors, making sure they're okay. Then I started checking for those diodes, those CR114s and stuff, which I showed before in the diagram. Those were, the actual diodes themselves were okay. And that's when I started checking for voltages, as I just explained already. And that's when I found that CR107 is minus 0.6 volt. There we go. All right. And this is basically just explaining what I did. So I'm going to put all this up online on my channel, on my the defpom.com website. I'll chuck it all up there as the project. So support documents, and I'll chuck it all on there, the whole lot, diagrams, manual, the whole lot. So someone will find it useful. And yeah, so I was going through the rest of the process here, and I'm checking various bits, and this is what I'm saying about diagnosing E115 as well, and how I diagnosed that, and what voltage and stuff I was getting there, and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's all that bit there's a bit boring really, but so we've identified what can make it work, and also identified that the display doesn't work properly. So let's get rid of that now. I've shown you that. And so the next thing I'll do, what I'd like to do is get this to work first, right? So I'd like to try and fix this part first, then we'll try and look at the voltage readback. I've got some parts have arrived, not for this. So because this is only using a reset output, it's just basically like a supervisor IC. So all it's doing is checking voltage. Once the voltage is up and stabilised, the reset will turn off. Right? That's all it's got to do. And this obviously this capacitor here is putting a delay on that circuit to delay the turn on time. Maybe it's turning on too quickly or something like that and it's latching. I don't know, maybe that's that capacitor there. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is to replace this capacitor and see if that fixes that turn on fault. Right? See if it will get that part working. If I can't resolve that turn on issue, then that's okay. I've got an alternative plan, which is to use a supervisor IC. I've actually purchased a few different ones. I'm waiting for them to arrive. And hi Simon, how's it going? And I can always replace this IC with a supervisor IC because it's only using the reset anyway. Okay, so I can put something like, you get like a reset for like a quarter of a second, something like that. It should be enough. Quarter second reset time. So you can even use a 555 timer if you want to, but I'd rather use a proper IC, you know, purpose built for it, rather than bodging something together too much. But so the LM2925, I'll look into that and see if that's suitable, and if that is the case, and if it does need replacing, then I'll get some of those. Thanks for that tip. And yeah, so first of all we'll check this, and then once we've had a go at that and see if we can fix it or not, then we'll go on to that voltage feedback, which I believe is that opto-coupler, which I have parts for. They arrived a few days ago. So that is, say this one here, that E115. Right, so I believe this opto-coupler is bad. And actually I should show you that first, and I'll show you why I think that opto-coupler is bad. I'll demonstrate that too. Then we'll go on and start fixing it, okay? So let's just change camera views. Let's just finish with coffee. I only had like half my coffee, it's going cold. Right, so let's demonstrate that part. This is a little bit more interesting, well, in a way, bit of a diagnostics thing going on. So down here, let's try and point out to you, get someone to point with. So try and get so you can get the right angle there. It's not easy to see in there, but there's a flat ribbon cable, grey ribbon cable right there. Just see it, I think. Right, just there. Now underneath that ribbon are some auto couplers. Now the one I want is actually directly underneath it. It's right there, right near that pen right there. Okay, so that auto coupler is one which does the voltage feedback. And I'll show you what I'm getting, and I'll show you why I suspect it's wrong. So first I need to get my meter set up, because I need to change what I'm doing. These needle probes are really great things to have. See those there? Really good for doing fine electronics work, service mount stuff. It's really good for that. I've got a few sets of them. I picked them up quite cheaply. They're not that expensive, but let's plug in the banana leads. I highly suggest you get them if you don't already have some. Might even chuck a link. I've seen one of my mailbag videos. Yeah, one of my mailbag videos got them in. I might chuck a link down below or something in the final video to link to where you can get them from. Right, let's power this up. Turn the meter on. Get my camera up and going. Right, so we'll just test on this op amp here to show what we're getting now. The inputs, which I should actually put up on the other screen. Let's pull these up. What do you want? We want desk and top screen. There we go. And let's make this a little bit bigger. So I've diagnosed all around this op amp, well, this opto-coupler, sorry, and if you look at pins 1 and 2 there, you see that's the LED. Oh, I bet that's a bit loud, my phone's right next to the mic. Right, so if I probe on pins 1 and 2, which is a bit tricky to get to, but I can get in there. Like that. Hopefully. Come on, get on there. Can you see that? Or did I put that into play? Oh, that's okay. So you've got 14 volts. Alright? 14 volts across 1 and 2, which is supposed to be across an LED. Which really doesn't sound right. As soon as I saw that, I thought that doesn't look right. So I look at the opto-coupler right next to it, which is exactly the same type. And I checked some of the other ones too. Probe on those. 1.4 volts. Okay? 1.4. Now the service manual for the data sheet for the opto-coupler mentions 1.4 volts. Okay, so they go, okay. So 1.4 volts is the voltage of the LEDs inside the opto-coupler. Which means there's no loading on that thing. Now what I also did, if I get this, here's an LED. Let's move this out of the way before I forget and do something stupid with it. Put it in the way or something. So here's an LED. And if I stick this on somewhere, yeah, I'll stick on here. This might work. If I get these bloody crocodile clips are great, but the little plastic sleeves, they bloody slip around all the time. They're really slippery. It's really hard to actually squeeze them. All right. Stick those on there. So now this LED should light up when I put it across there. You think 14 volts, that's going to bloody crap at LED. Well, no, because it's actually voltage. The voltage should be 1.4 volts, okay, and it's a current limited system, so it's based on the current going into the opto-coupler. So if the current is correct, the LED will light up nicely without blowing up. So can you see that there? Try and get it in shot at the same time. Alright, hopefully you can see it. So if I stick this across there, so on pin 1 there, pin 2 there, you see, lights up. Hopefully you can see it, I don't know. It doesn't light up very much, but that's lighting up. And now if you look at the meter, it's doing 2.2 volts. Right, so just the current of that LED brings the voltage down. Which makes me believe that that opto-coupler has internally failed. Because as soon as you put an LED across it, the voltage drops down to where, close to where it should be. Right, obviously the LED type and stuff like that is going to affect it. But that's how I diagnose that input. Okay? So that's just a case of thinking about, hey, what's it doing? What was on the other end of those pins? Well, it's an LED. So, yeah, LED's got an open circuit, it seems. Right, so shut the power back down again. So the first thing I want to do is try and get that circuitry so the thing will at least turn on reliably. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to attack. So let's just flip it over on its back. I know a part I need to take out. I need to check the orientation, otherwise I might forget. Okay, negative towards the chassis. Right. Take this off. Alright. Like I said, this bit here, high voltage, when you got plugged in the mains, that bit right there has got mains voltage on it. So that's why I put the tape over it to try and stop myself from accidentally touching it. I'm aware it's there, which means you got to be really careful with this sort of stuff. But being aware of it isn't necessarily the same as not touching it. very easy to kill yourself doing this sort of stuff if you're not careful. So little things like that, it takes a little bit of effort, but it can potentially, you know, save a big bit of pain. So Simon, what have you been up to? I assume you're still there. Haven't seen many videos from you recently, ever. Haven't had many projects on. I saw you doing that little engine thing. I think you kind of got it going, didn't you? I don't know. That weird engine. Right. So I've got the soldering iron warming up. Get the soldering iron warming as well. Let's turn this off for the time being. So the part I've got to desolder is right there. It's those two pins there. Right. So that is that capacitor, which I'm suspicious about because that's the one that sets the delay time. Can't see. Yeah, it's not the best view. I can zoom this in a bit. Hold on a second. Let's just get my mouse. Where the hell my cursor disappear to? Right. Yeah, zoom in slightly. That might help slightly. That's not the best view. Hold on. Let's just adjust this. Let's just change this angle slightly here. Let's go. Yeah, maybe I won't. I'll try and be able to do it. Let's just spin this around. Okay, so 2 pins right there. Okay, I'll point them with something else too. Right there. That's the capacitor. So I'm just going to take that out and replace it and see if that does anything. See if that resolves any problems or not. I've got so much crap on my desk right now. I did actually measure it. Let's do it, measure it again. And I'll show you what I mean. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Without being a circuit, it's not quite as reliable anyway. I'm going to do that by side. That's correct. What do we get? So I'm getting 4.5 UF with 3.5 ohms, right? So it doesn't quite seem right, especially when it's supposed to be a 10 UF capacitor. All right, so that's why I'm fairly sure that's what's wrong. Oh, I spent a week trying to fix the spectrum analyzer. It's a stuck key. Oh, bugger. Wow. Hey, at least it ended up being something simple. You have to look on the bright side of things like that. Yeah, frustrating, I can understand, but well, it's yeah. Okay. Let's get this capacitor out. Hopefully. See if I'm going to need to put add new solder or not, I don't know yet. This isn't really the right bit for this, but a bit big. No, that's not molding. Let's just put some fresh stuff on it. Plenty of solder on there. I might just pull the part out and suck the holes out. It might be easier actually. Let's just do it that way. Sometimes it's easier. Get my hand in there. Okay, parts out. Now I'll suck the holes out. parts in there somewhere. Here we go, it's out. Okay, hole's cleared out. Now let's find that part. It's on my desk somewhere. It did fall out. Where'd it go? It's hiding from me. There it is. So that's actually a 4.7. Interesting. That is not what's on the diagram. Alright, so the diagram showed, to get the camera to focus on that, I don't know if it will. Yeah. There we go. Right, so that's a 4.7 50 volt. But the diagram had a 10 UF on there. Very interesting. I found a lot of discrepancies in the diagram. As did Jerry Sweeney when he was doing his video. So there's various things there which just don't match up. So we'll put a new 4.7 in. What voltage is this one? Another 50 volts, so it's basically the same. So in the Chicon cap. Nice good quality cap. So I can get my hand in there to put it in. I might take this board out actually, let's do that. So I'm just guessing this may or may not affect anything, but obviously the capacitance reading was end up being correct in the end because it had the wrong capacitor in there, well a different capacitor in there. Put that through the holes. I know you can't see very well, sorry about that, but there's not a huge amount I can do about that right now. Solder this in, then we'll give it a try and see if it actually changed anything or not. Come on. We'll try and get the heat right through the board because it's double-sided. Right. Fingers crossed this does something. I'll be surprised if it does. I think the IC is probably bad, but I'd rather try and do these simple fixes first. You never know. Might get lucky. Let's put one screw back in this so it doesn't float around. Okay. Yeah, they have been in production for a long time, haven't they? They still make them. I think you can still buy them now, those power supplies. I think they're still current. I think that's why it's hard to get the circuit diagrams for them, because it's a current module. It seems that Keysight, as they are now, you know, formerly HP and formerly Agilent, I think if it's obsolete equipment, then they release the service information. If it's something that's no longer supported properly, or no longer current model, I think then they actually allow the service information out, like the diagram, stuff like that. So you can get a lot of the older gear, you know, diagrams not a problem. But because this is a current model, their service information you download from the site gives you a board layout, excludes circuit diagrams. So there was one guy or one place which had the circuit diagrams included. There's only one source I found so far, and I found it on an EV blog. And so that's also the same source that Jerry Sweeney found. So I think there's like only one copy in existence where you can get diagrams. So I'll be uploading that to my site to share that too, so other people can see them too. Alright, let's pop this up again. we'll see if anything's changed. I will be surprised if anything's changed just by doing that, but you never know. Obviously the voltage isn't going to read correctly. It's still been reading -2.7, so yeah, that's still dead. So that hasn't fixed that. So it must be the IC itself which is bad, so I can't fix that right now by the looks of it. Which is a shame. I was hoping I could resolve that one today. Obviously the IC is bad. Must be. Yeah, it happens. But that's okay. So the next thing I want to look at then is that opto-coupler. Let's get this out of the way. I'm getting right in there, I might have to use this. So there we go. This is all an earth bench anyway, so it's all fine that way. Turn the power off to it as well. Take this off for now, get it out of the way. Right, so now you've got to get into here. I might have to change this camera view so you can see it a bit better, since I'm going to be working down in there. I'll get the thing to not loosen up and fall apart, that'd be great. Okay, this will be a bit of a view for you. Let's take the load out of the way as well, give ourselves some space to work. Now, I should be using this, but I really do. Unless I'm really worried about blowing up. No, she's take this. Let's take this board right out, I think. We'll see if I can get to it or not. Because the opto-coupler's right down there. I need to try and get that out. So let's just, so I'm not messing around with this board trying to work around it. Let's just take the board out. Is it no unplugs? I think it is. Yes it is. Come on, let's go. Yes, that's a keyed plug, so I can't get that wrong. Let's put this out. Come on. Okay. So, hope you can see that okay. Right, but the opto-coupler I want is right there, that one there. So it's a bit tricky to get to. I've got two choices how I can get this out. I can try and do it non-destructively, or I can do it destructively. Like, is it Cure 22? I don't know how you pronounce that, Cure. Fellow nerds come to learn things, awesome. I guess you saw my intro. Hey Rob, how's it going? Alright, so it's that opto-coupler right there I've got to get out. So let's move these other wires out of the way as well. I'm going to need a bit of room because it's a bit tricky now. As I was saying, I can either do it destructively or non-destructively. Non-destructive might be easier, or destructive might be easier, sorry, which is where I cut the legs off the IC and then take the legs off one at a time. Or I could try using hot air and try and get it out without disturbing anything around it. I think I'm going to cut the legs off because I've got new ICs. I believe that IC is bad anyway, so I've got nothing to lose. So new ICs, if I can find them. So I find I've lost them. There you go. My C's are here. Alright. So I've got one right there. Should double check it to make sure it's all good. Okay, so yep, it's got the right part number on it at least, so that's that part there. So that's what needs to go in. So it looks correct. So I think I'm going to cut the legs off and then take the legs off one at a time, put the new piece in after clean the pads up, and we'll give it a go. If I at least get the voltage reading correct, then I've only got to worry about then that reset circuit and get that going. Okay. Now let's try and snip these off. There's still a risk of damaging pads doing this, but you just try and be careful with it. You just don't force too much. Come on, if you can. And get onto the pen, it'd be great. Right. Whole part out. Okay, that's probably the most general way I can do it. And it is rather sensitive electronics around here, so if I stuck a lot of hot air in there, I could disturb other parts or who knows what else. So I'm a bit reluctant to do that unless I really need to. Come on. That's why I get these butts out. Some solder. I'm pretty sure when I lifted my soldering up the first time that the leg fell off, so I think it's dropped back into it, so I have to turn the thing upside down before I forget. Make sure I don't forget to turn it upside down before I power it up. Okay, so legs off. Let's get some fresh solder on these pads. It's probably lead free or something, I don't like lead free. Well, it melted quite easily, maybe it's not. Now, I know a lot of people use solder wick, whereas I don't tend to. I probably should, but I've never had much success with it. I've always found it awkward to use. Anyway, we'll give it a go with this. Yeah, nice and clean. I'll clean the flux up afterwards. Rob, this is a purchase to repair. Yeah, it's satisfying repairing things. I always like to bring things back. I mean, I get a lot of satisfaction for getting something which is broken and then bringing it back to life and making it usable again. I don't like to see waste. It's like one of my little hates. I don't like seeing wasted things, you know. Things which could be fixed or are still usable. I don't like to see it just, you know, thrown away, destroyed, pulled out for parts even, you know. Something which could be fixable. I hate it, you know. I see this. If you look on eBay, you see these various cards, you know, you might see, you know, all the cards from a piece of test gear and thinking, well, why don't let's put the cards back into the piece of test gear and sell it as a broken unit and let someone try and fix it, you know? Because you think, well, yeah, but what happened to the rest of the unit when they've broken the cards out? And then the chassis has been destroyed, you know? That's a waste. Someone might want the chassis. I hate seeing waste. It's like my little pet hates, you know. I really don't like to see waste. You know, I really like to try and bring things back and, you know, restore things like that. I don't like to see things going to waste like that. Even 5 transistors or something, you know, a massive package of bundle like this for little 5 transistors. It's like, come on. You know, that's what's wrong with the world. Anyway. I think that looks okay. Yeah, but waste really bothers me, eh? I love restoring bits of gear like this. The hard bit is trying to find the gear, because I find that prices are going up on eBay. Right, mainly the postage prices are becoming prohibitive. You know, I could buy a piece of gear for $50, but the postage is $300. You know, stuff like that. It's just ridiculous, and you know, it's just not worth it. So I'm having more and more trouble now finding parts. You know, well, finding gear to work on, because the postage is just ridiculous. You know, I'm looking, but trying to find something suitable to work on, not always easy. This is a bit awkward to get into too. This is last leg I've got to do. Happy with that soldering yet. Come on, get on there. Let's put this away, let's get in the way. Let's just check the comments briefly. Hold on. There's an echo in here. Oh, really? Stream gone? Oh no. Oh, it's okay again now. Weird. Must have been a YouTube glitch, because my OBS says it hasn't dropped any frames at all. What iron am I using? I've done a few videos on this actually. Now this is a fake Heiko, right? It's an FX951, the Chinese one. I did a mailbag video on it. I did a video on tearing it down, having a look, and I've done a couple of videos on the handpiece. Now this is a replacement handpiece. It's the second replacement handpiece I've used. I got this one off eBay. I think you can get them on Banggood and stuff like that as well now. But it's a nice metal one. And this is by far the best handpiece. So I'm still using the cheap Chinese fake Heiko, right, which works fine. But you need to replace the handpiece with a good one, right? Get a good handpiece, it makes it usable. Without replacing the handpiece, it's actually absolute crap. It really is crap, you know. So it's one of these things. Come on, solder. Just can't quite get the iron in the right place. Let's shove some flux in there, it's going to need some help. In fact, I think all the pins probably use a bit of flux actually. I might just chuck a bit in all of them. Redid them all. Not perfect. Right. This will probably help. This transistor here, which is bent over slightly, it's kind of in the way. Come on. Here we go. Now it's soldered. Probably should put flux on in the first place, but this stuff's got quite good flux in it. It works really well, so I don't usually need to add flux unless it's being problematic like that last one was. Cool. Well, good. Let's have a look with a look, make sure there's no bridges. I've got a bit too much solder on that leg there. When it did finally flow on, it flowed on too much. Yeah, I'm being fussy. Slightly better. It's okay, it doesn't really matter much. looks a bit funny. Right, let's clean this up. I often get asked, almost every video I do cleaning, what are you using? Just IPA. Just a bit of IPA, that's all it is. And I get asked about what these are. These are makeup cleaning pads, right? Makeup remover pads, because they're really cheap. You can get, you know, loads of them for a couple of dollars, and they're lint free. And they're really good for this. You can just shove it in there, and it absorbs all the flux, and it sticks to it. It's great. This is a bit hard to get into with, but right. This isn't going to be a very effective clean, I'm afraid. Might have to flush it out rather than this, but anyway. Just a bit hard to get to. I'll do it this way. So we'll find out shortly whether or not this solves the voltage reading issue. I really hope so, because this is what I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, it looks alright. Cool. That looks fine. Certainly good enough. So how are we going with the stream? Still behaving? Oh, you're selling your things, are you, Ian? Awesome. Alright, so I was checking out the chat. Okay, so let's put this thing back together and see if it's changed anything. I really hope it has, but we just don't know. Now I need to plug these things back in where they were. Plugs in there. Plug that in afterwards. I need to get the ribbon. I mean, really I should have taken the board out to work on it, because it's working a bit better, but I could just get it without taking the board out. It's a lot of hassle to strip this thing down. So I just wanted to avoid going there if I could. I forget this layer here that goes like that. Goes like that. Okay. Let's get the board back in. Whenever I touch things, I'm always touching the metal first, or the metal parts first. I always make sure I touch a ground plane first, because that way much less likely to blow something up using static. Right, because I don't have this strap on, right? So, but obviously the bench is grounded. So it's just the thing I always do. I always touch metal things first, always. It's just, it becomes second nature. I don't think about it anymore. I just do it. I've never blown anything up with static anyway, at least not to my knowledge. So I think my precautions are adequate. If I'm working on something particularly sensitive, then maybe I'll worry about using a strap, you know, that's what I've got the thing here for. Or even like something that's not mine, just put it that way, something's not mine, I'll put a strap on. I should rephrase that. I should put on the anti-static strap. That could be misconstrued. Right, I'll shove that back in there. One more wire to attach after that. Then we'll pair it up and see if it's any different. Okay. try and get so you can see. So up off, on. Oh, that's changed both of them. Why they both changed? That's interesting. See that? What is that not liking? And the fan's ramped up. Something might have gone wrong. Let's see what's going on. If I made it worse, not better, it's possible. Still showing that. Okay. Oh. Oh. Looks like something else has happened now. Oh, looks like I've done something else. That's concerning. Channel 1 was working. I'm pretty sure I took out the right part. Oh, hold on. That's what's just occurred to me. I forgot to check for that little bit of metal that dropped, didn't I? That's sitting in there somewhere. If it is, that could be a problem. Is that it? I think so. Oh, let's have a look. I've got something misaligned or something, have I? It's too bad, isn't it, if I made it worse? Shit happens. No, let's try it again. Could be a disaster. Might have even more to fix. Right. There we go. Back. Yeah, a bit of metal which I forgot to pull out. Must have been sitting somewhere. But that's a relief. That's working okay. Channel 2 is back to reading 0 volts again. Great. So something. That's a relief. So that's back to where it was. So that looks like it's working again now. So let's do that thing with the IC and force it to come on and see if we actually get an output voltage showing up on display. Okay. Try to get so both cameras can see it. There we go. So it's now showing 0 volts, and you can't see that one. There we go. Turn it on. Hey, look at that. Works. Yep, works. So I've solved the display issue, right? So that opto-coupler was definitely a problem at the display. Got lucky with a bit of bloody leg that dropped in there. Completely forgot to get that out. Bugger. Anyway, so cool. That works. I'm just watching what the voltage goes up to each time. Sure, went to 7.88 just now. So it's varying slightly. It's a little bit interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that works. So I've just got to sort out that reset IC. This part's interesting why it's jumping around like that. Right, okay, that's working. Cool, so that's one of the faults at least fixed. Let's double check this channel, make sure I'm happy with that. No volts, yeah, it's all good. So there's still something a little bit funny going on that channel 2, I think. Because see, this one stays rock solid when I'm changing voltage. Right, that's alright. But the channel 2 is behaving a little differently. So maybe still something a little bit subtle there. Change that to a quick channel. Something, yeah, something's still not quite right there. So each step I'm going up, it's changing by less than 1 volt. Maybe it's a calibration thing. Yeah, probably a calibration issue actually. Because this is reading back the actual voltage. So it probably is a calibration thing. Yeah, cool. So, that's partially fixed at least. That's something. Alright. Let's come and sit back down. Let's come back here. Yeah. That one. Right, so at least we fixed something. Almost completely screwed up in the process, but hey, we fixed something. This is a little weird chats as I've been missing for a while. Yeah, okay. Right. Yes, at least you're not wearing a strap on. Yeah, yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, never use strap because I just get in the way. I just find straps irritating. You know, you get tangled up and you get caught in the cables when you're testing stuff. You know, the multimeter leads, you get wrapped around it. It's just, I find it a pain now. So my bench top is grounded. Right, so I've got an anti-static mat, and I'm touching that. The device touching that. I always touch metal parts first. Did you get a loose IC leg or no? That's what was wrong with that second thing. Right, let's keep reading. Oh, you got the STS104XE. Oh, yeah. I did a review on that. Yeah, I'll do a review video on that if you want to go and check that out. Oh, yeah, cool. So, what do you guys reckon? So let's have a look at this part, shall we? This one is suggested LM2925. Let's go and look that up and see if it looks compatible. Let's put a window up. And 2925 data sheet. So at least we fixed one fault. We've got the voltage readout correct again, so that's great. Here we go. I think that's probably it. Waiting for it to load. My internet connection's not the best. Even the fact the stream's held up this well is actually surprising. It's doing. I haven't dropped any frames apparently according to this, so that glitch you had before would have been YouTube itself. Load dropout regulated with delayed reset. Well, that sounds promising. Okay, let's save that data sheet. Then I'll open the data sheet up and show you and do a comparison. Desktop. So yeah, still with live streams, like you get what you get. There's no hiding anything. You know, you all make mistakes from time to time. So at least that was a minor, didn't cause any long-term damage. I mean, the little leg which dropped off, sitting in there. Obviously, it's just affected something minorly. I don't know where it's sitting, but okay, where we are. Pull this up. So just obviously on the top screen, and we'll look at the data sheets. And if I can get the top screen to fit, that'd be great. Alright. Come on, up you get. So, let's have a look. Pin out, pin 1 input, pin 2 output, okay. 3 is ground, 4 is delay, 5 is reset output. Let's find a diagram. Same pin out. Cool. Right, so thanks for that tip, that's definitely helpful. So I need to see if I can find one of these parts then. It's got a different capacitor specified for the actual part, for the delay part, but that's fine. Okay, so let's see if I can find one of these parts then. Let's see if I can find one. This would be quite good if we get that sorted out as well at some point. Nice video quality, is it? Oh, cool. I wasn't sure. My bitrate is currently set to yeah, 1500 bps. Yeah, 1500 bits is the bitrate I'm streaming from. I normally have issues with it dropping. I've got some drops now. I've lost 38 frames now. So yeah, it's starting to get flaky. Meter connection is only good for a period of time, and it starts to drop off around mid-morning. It starts to get worse. So it looks like it's starting to drop now. On AliExpress, are they? Okay. Well, I'll try and get one from locally if I can, because I'd rather get it sooner than later. Let me just pull up element 14. That's my favourite at the moment. Either RS or element 14. Element 14's been getting better. I've found them to be faster most of the time. So let's see, here we go. Do they have them? No, they don't. Element 14 don't have them. Okay, let's try IS. See if they've got them. So I've got a feeling I've looked at this part once already. The number sounds familiar. I've got a feeling I might have seen it. And RS has got completely different parts. They're nowhere near the right thing. So no. Okay, AliExpress. I've recently set up my affiliate account thing with AliExpress, but it's a bit of a pain setting links up, so I haven't really used it much. Really to get that going, because I could use some funding from that. You know, when I send people to AliExpress to buy things, it'd be nice to actually get some commission on that. Actually, I don't want to log in yet. I just want to see if I've got the thing. See if I've got the part. Right. Yes, AliExpress does indeed have them. Right, 5 pieces a lot. That sounds like the one I should buy. Different prices. Got a horizontal version and vertical version. I need a vertical version. It shows them with like, it's like corroded component legs in that picture. So it doesn't instill confidence. Let's try the other one. That's a generic photo, not necessarily of the right part. Okay. Feedback and stuff on this one. Let's just try and check this out. So I'll chuck this up here, eh? Can I detach that window? There we go. Show like this. You can see what I'm looking at. Makes a bit more sense then, doesn't it? So yeah, AliExpress, there we go. So there's a few versions. It's with paid shipping too, but it's cheap. It's like $5 for 5 of them. So yeah, well, feedback, always check feedback. Looks good, even though there's only 2 of them. Let's check one of the other ones out. You see how this instead? These look like almost like they're corroded a little bit. I don't know. These little dings in those legs. Weird. And on special, awesome, and free shipping. Feedback, no feedback. Yeah. 97% rating. 97.7%. Much to say. 3 years. You have to be careful. You have to shop around a bit. 5 years. Yeah. Okay. Let's. I'll buy one of these. I'll buy one of those. I'll pull it back out so you can't see what I'm doing. So excellent. Thanks for the tips. Let's log in here. Buy now, yes. Pay for it, yes. Done. All easy as that. Purchase some. Great. All good. So I'll be able to add on some video at some point. Did I leave my camera running? Yes, I did leave it recording. I better stop that. I keep doing that. Turn it off. So yeah, cool. So we got that these partially fixed. We got part of it done, which is the good thing. Let's go back to the chat thing. Let's just go on. So we've got 5 parts and look like they're new. They're probably fakes, but I don't care if I was a regulator part. All I need is the reset section. All right. So yeah. So if the reset section works like a reset section should do with a delay, then I don't care if the voltage regulator part doesn't work properly. If it, you know, it doesn't have to be great. So a knockoff part would be fine. Looking for that part. Okay. So looking at that then. Paste. Didn't find anything. I put that into the search field. Didn't come up. What do I 3D print? Basically, I purchased it to make things for test gear. So you get broken bits and pieces like missing feet, that kind of thing, or handles that are broken, or rear feet, levers inside, that kind of thing. I purchased it to make parts to replace broken or missing parts of bits of test gear, or anything I'm working on. You want to know why I'm called Defpom? I've covered that a couple of times previously. I could say go back and watch my previous videos in one of them, but that'd be a bit mean, wouldn't it? Since there's over 400 of them. It's like 449 or something like that. This is 450, this one. So, yeah. Now Dave just caught me off guard when he asked me that question on his when I visited him in Sydney. He's doing that video, he sort of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting him to ask me. Yeah, I've been mentioning it previously, but well, if I'd been a bit more prepared, I would have actually answered the question. Basically, Defpom comes from when I was doing car audio many years ago. I used to do competitive car audio. I had a sound-off car, which was a high-quality system, not volume, or like, could go loud too. And basically, it's about getting the best audio quality and accuracy of reproduction. So the idea is you sit in a car and you can imagine yourself, if you close your eyes, you can imagine that there's a stage in front of you with people playing on the stage, you know, the performers, and you could hear where they were on the stage, left to right, and in depth. So you could get a 3D perception of the sound with accurate reproduction, you know, of audio quality. So off the script, well, there is no script. Like Dave doesn't do a script. I don't do a script, which is why sometimes things can seem a bit disjointed or a bit long-winded or waffly or whatever. So I just basically press record and I have an idea of what I want to do and I just do it and see how it comes out. I rarely go back and re-record things. It's very unusual for me to do that unless I've completely screwed something up. Then I might go back and re-look at that or try and fix something. But usually I'll just be, well, that's what it is. That's what you get. You know, I try and be realistic. You know, I'm just a hobbyist that plays around with electronics, right? I just happen to have a good mind for troubleshooting, and I just try and share that, I suppose. So look at this, what we've got here. JVC finger challenge, what's that about? Is it holding on to it or something? Oh, okay, I guess you're just chatting about holding or changing the bits or something. Oh dear. So, at least we got that part fixed, you know, so we got the civil part here, which, okay, knockoff from AliExpress. I bought knockoffs before and they've been alright. I mean, you can see they're not too spec, they're not as good as they should be. You know, they don't work quite as well as a proper real part, but they kind of do the job, you know. When you've got no other choice, I don't have a problem using those, as long as it's not something critical. Sometimes you have to make something instead, but a knockoff part like this is going to be fine, I reckon. I reckon this will be alright for what I want to do. So thanks for suggesting that part. I've ordered them, so I'll be able to put one of those in and hopefully I'll fix the problem with this unit. I don't believe it's going to be that load capacitor, look over here. I don't believe it's going to be that. Right, so as you saw, I already changed that part. I don't think this one's going to be a problem because I've already done resistance checks across the output and it was fine. There was no low resistances and all that. So I think the actual IC itself has failed. This would have been nice simple fix to replace that and be alright. But yeah, so it's all good. So what else have we got on now? Q&A stuff. I mean, I'm quite happy to sit and answer questions and stuff like that. Opinions, whatever you want to know, just ask. I may not answer the question, but I can ask. Right. Other projects we've got in the works. Now, I have a thing here. Let's just change views. Hold on. Go back to this view. There you go. I've also picked up this thing. Right. Try and get it in shot so you can see it. Right. Little Marconi 2.4 gigahertz. Oh, sorry, 2 gigahertz. Fixed counter. Now this also has a fault, and that's on my project pile. So that'd be one of the next things I do. Although I've got a few other things already piled up there which I need to work on, which I've started and not finished. I've got that Fluke 50. Is it 540B? Is it transfer standard? Voltage transfer standard thing. That's what it's called, isn't it? You can measure AC and DC. You compare the two and tell you what the difference is between them. So you can use that for calibrating an AC or DC source, depending on which other source you're supplying it with. So that kind of works, but I need to replace that mercury battery that's in it. It's got a 1.5 volt mercury battery, which you can't get now. So I'm going to build a little electronic circuit for that. Probably going to use a 18650 or something like that as an isolated battery with a little voltage regulator and a charge circuit, stuff like that in there, and that'll bring that back. And then I'll better use that to do calibration on the Valhalla, the 2703, which needs calibrating it. Being an AC source, I need to get that transfer standard working, so I can use that with my Fluke 3648A DC calibrator. So I can use that as a reference for the transfer standard and then put the AC into it and do the calibration that way. So, what else have we got here? I've still got the Fluke 5200A, which I need to finish. Remember that 19-part video series I did of fixing it? It's still got one little fault left where it's noisy on the output. I still need to finish that. And the other thing I've picked up recently, which you wouldn't have seen yet because it's in a mailbag, which will be probably in a couple of weeks' time, 2 or 3 weeks' time you'll see it, because I'm about 3 weeks behind on what you're seeing versus when I've recorded it. It takes about 3 weeks because I've got so many queued up. Get shot. Right, little thing from Dave. Right, HVP70 high voltage probe, differential probe. And I picked one of these up because I have lots of issues with common mode noise where I am. On my bench gear, obviously it's all heaps of power, heaps of mains power there. It's noisy. Right? There's lots of 50 Hz noise. So I picked up one of these to help me with situations where either I've got too much common mode noise to make decent measurements, or I need to have isolation. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So Dave had a special on these recently. I don't know if it's still going. If it is still going, go and have a look. I think it was like 40% off or something like 30% off. It's a lot cheaper than normal. So I haven't actually played around with this yet. I'll probably do a review video actually. I've sort of unpackaged it and had a little look, and now I can't get it back in the packaging. I'll chuck it to one side, I'll sort that later. But so I'll probably do a review video on that when I do get to play around with it, and yeah, I'm sure Dave will want to share it, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'll play around with that at some point. It will be a handy tool. I looked at one previously from Taltech, Rob, Tobacco Technologies, who loans me stuff to do reviews on from time to time, Agilent stuff. And it was a HP 25 or something like HVP 25, was it? Yeah, I think it's HVP 25, which I did a review on as well, and I had a bit of a play around with. And that worked okay, but it was I think it was 100 times and 1000 times sensitivity options on it, and so it wasn't quite sensitive enough for what I want. So it didn't quite do what I wanted. It was great if you want to do high voltage stuff. If you're doing switch mode supplies, it'd be perfect for that. But I was something a bit more sensitive, so this has got a times 10 on it. So that's why I went for this one. Probably cost you more money, but yeah, it's all good. So anybody else got any questions or anything else you want to ask or whatever? What else have we got in the works? Let's see. Oh, I've got so many things in the works. I've got so many things. I don't know where to start. One thing I've actually got, I keep forgetting about, is that on my shelf there behind me, I've got an old Marconi audio generator, really old one. And one day I might actually pull that thing apart and do a restoration on it and do a video on that. It might be interesting. It's just a little audio generator, you know, audio tone. I think it does up to 1 megahertz, something like that. And yeah, I'll have that. My cat wants to give it. Hold on a second. Come on, how'd you go? Come on. You hassle me. Right. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Also, I'm approaching 5,000 subscribers. So I'm up to now, is it 47 something? I'm not quite sure about that one now. Hold on. Let's have a look. Just over 4,700 and something. I'm waiting for it to update. So I've always been tempted to do like a giveaway or something at 5,000. I've been thinking about it for a long time. When I did a giveaway at 1,000, because to me that's quite a big milestone to reach 1,000 subscribers. Reaching 5,000 is also, to me, quite a good milestone. So I'm very tempted to give something away at 5,000. So I'm not sure yet what I could give away. I did have a couple of things in mind. I've got that little Vici multimeter I've had sitting around. I did used to use it when I got the Agilent E3648A. Then that took its place because, you know, why wouldn't you? So I'm at 4759 right now. So if you're watching this live stream, you're not subscribed yet, click on it. Click on subscribe and the bell icon. Go for it. The other thing I'm trying to do is get more patrons as well. Trying to get more people to support me. It's always hard asking for money though, you know. It's sort of a little bit awkward. I want the money to help me buy things for the channel, like better test gear to fix, like this thing I'm working on now, you know. Well, I think I paid, what did I pay for that? 150 US. I I think it was, plus about that much again for postage. And that's no, does that mean? But I like to get the mailbag stuff is also paid for by Patrons basically, so or some of it is. I don't get a lot of money for Patreon. I haven't got many Patreons, so so I don't know how to actually make that grow anymore. I mean, I put it in videos and I mention it often, but it doesn't seem to grow. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm not that present on Patreon. Maybe that's what the issue is. I don't know, but maybe your opinions would be helpful there. But when I've asked patrons, what do they want for being a Patreon? What benefits do they want? The response I've had is nothing. We just want to give. So that's been great. But opinions from you. How's that? Okay. What do you think would be good rewards for being a patron, helping support the channel? I'm having trouble trying to get my head around that part and getting that part to work. I'm making, I don't know, $12 a month or something right now from Patreon. It's like, why am I bothering, really? That's where it's at right now. So, do you have any opinions about what would help that to grow? What if you were to, from your own perspective, okay, if you were to see that you could support the channel through Patreon and you had the means to do so, and the willingness to do so, right? What would you want as a reward for doing that? Even if it's $1 a month, what would you want as a reward for helping to support the channel? Please chuck it in the comments below, in the chat or the comments, whichever. If you're watching it after the stream has already gone played, I'll bear in mind that this is also going to be recorded on the channel as well later on. Might give away something light. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Qs. Yeah. What's your name? Keysight Service? I forgot what your name is. I think I did see you mention it once in your video or something. What's your name? Keysight Service? Because I know I watch your videos. Yeah, so I'm just trying to sort of figure out what people want to help support my channel. What rewards do people want? Because I'm happy to give back. People want to support my channel financially by giving me $1 a month or $10 a month or whatever. I want to give something in return to make it worthwhile for them. So trying to figure out what that is it's been tricky because people don't seem to really give feedback on that. Maybe doing a video possibly what the Patreon wants to fix. Okay. Say like custom videos, you mean, like say if they've got a particular device that they want fixed, they want a video on that. That could be tricky. It depends on me having the parts or the item. So behind the scenes stuff. So behind the scenes, which is kind of what I've just done with this live stream in a way. This is a bit of behind the scenes of, you saw what I was doing whilst I was recording the video. Although I didn't really focus on what I was recording, I was just recording. I wasn't actually doing it the way I'd normally do it. You give enough? Oh, thanks. Thanks. I'm just trying to help the channel grow more. Always trying to make it grow. I'm trying to do things to make it better all the time. I'm always trying to do something to improve. So I'm always looking at what I can do to add to that. I've worked on the video quality, I've worked on lighting, sound quality, the kinds of content I'm producing. I'm trying to do more test gear because that seems to be what people are interested in, is the test gear views. Mailbag seems to do quite well, surprisingly, considering to me mailbag's probably not that exciting, right? To me, but people seem to, I don't know, I get a fair amount of views on mailbag. Mailbag probably gets as many views, if not more views, than doing repairs, which is interesting. Unexpected Maker. I heard that name the other day. Where did I see that name? I haven't seen videos. I don't think I've seen his channel. I'm going to have to go and look that one up. I think I saw the name somewhere the other day, but I haven't seen his channel. Let's go and have a quick look. But yeah, I'm just trying to find something to make it worthwhile for people. Actually, something that goes to that extra effort to help support me and help support the channel and help me to buy things. to make more content, you know, the money that goes into Patreon is spent on the channel. It doesn't go anywhere else. So let's go and look at this. I'll go and subscribe to the channel. I'll look at it later on.
Hi, I'm Sion, the Unexpected Maker.
Cool. Right, subscribe. I'll go and check him out later. Unboxing vids leave me cold. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to actually figure out what to do sometimes. You know, I'm doing 3 videos a week right now, at least 3 videos. This one here, because this counts as a 4th video I suppose in the live stream. So I'm trying to keep some level of consistency as well. So the Monday mailbag, you know, it's always going to be a Monday mailbag. Monday's always going to be mailbag, right? The Fix It Friday, that should be something which is easy to maintain, because I'm always trying to buy things to fix. As expensive as it is, I try and get the money's worth too, which sometimes you get multiple videos. You know, it might be an hour and a half, 1.5 hours footage to overall. So I might have that in 2 videos to get the money's worth out of that investment of buying that gear. You know, rather do 2 videos from that one piece of equipment than 1 video, which probably only 10% of people watch right to the end anyway. Maybe 15%. It drops off gradually, you know, through the videos as it goes on. So yeah, just trying to find out what people actually want as a reward for supporting the channel, you know, for buying stuff. I'm chopping changing between them a bit, you know. But yeah, I see these other channels have got thousands of Patreons. And think, well, that's great, you know. But how do they manage it? You know, how do they get that level of support? What are they doing, which I'm not doing? You know, I'm just trying to get that kind of level, because the more financial support I can get from Patreon or PayPal donations, whatever I can do, the more things I can buy, the more interesting content I can do, or I can buy more expensive items which may be more involved or more diagnostics required in order to fix them. So it's a bit of a challenge, you know, trying to get that financial. Because don't forget, right now I'm paying for everything out of my own pocket. It costs me a fair bit of money, right? So I'm spending $1,000 a month or so on things, buying things to do this, and that is a bit challenging sometimes. You know, I have to be careful about how I'm budgeting. But yeah, anyway, I do it because I enjoy it. You know, as I've said in my other videos previously, it's like I do electronics and I do this YouTube thing because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy trying to share the diagnostic process and things that I do, and try and help other people out. That's what I'm trying to do, you know. I'm doing a great job. Thanks for that, Simon. Yeah, and yes, exactly. Can't keep everyone happy, which is why I've got the different types of videos. And I've got the mailbag, which some people like mailbag, but people like mailbag may not watch any of the repair videos because they're not into that. You know, they might just be interested in electronics or gadgets, right? Obviously, the electronics repair stuff, people into electronics watch that, but may not have an interest at all in mailbag. So it's a case of trying to get that balance between the kind of content I'm producing versus what people actually want to watch, and trying to keep it focused as well. I don't want to be too broad with it, otherwise it's going to be a mishmash too much. You know, at least it kind of ties in a little bit. The mailbag stuff has got electronic parts stuff which are coming for the repair videos, or the bits of gear I've bought. You know, so it kind of ties in that way from the mailbag to the repairs. I have another Patreon now, do I? Oh, I guess that means you, Rob. Awesome, thank you very much. Excellent. Much appreciated. Thanks for supporting me. What do you want to see? What else do you want? You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What rewards do people want? Because I want to give back to people which are helping to support me, you know, because they're putting an extra bit of effort in to help me to produce more content, right? So, no, I want to give back a bit more to that. I want to be a bit more special to the people which are helping to support me, putting an extra effort in. You know, it's not necessary for people to do that, but people that go a little bit further and help me, then I want to do something for them, you know, and that's what it's about. recap the phaco, it will transform it even more. Recapping it. Yeah, the caps that were in there were suspicious. I think they had what were they? Capsion brands. Capsion? I can't remember now. But yeah, it didn't have good caps in there. So yeah, I probably will do that. Probably will recap actually. That's a good suggestion. But what? Isn't this going to look a bit of a cannibalism thing though, where it's going to be using a soldering iron to fix itself? I'll do have another iron. It's okay. I've actually got that TS100. Hold on. See, I do still have it. Right, I did a review video on this thing, and as you can see, it's been used. Right, so I could use this to fix it, well, to recap it. So I just find it a bit funny. You have to do soldering on it on a soldering iron. It's just the whole where do you start chicken egg thing. So I've got other irons I can use. I've got that one. I've got an old. I used to use a Goot iron for years. It was a gift. So I used that for ages, but these direct element ones, which are right close to the tip, built into the actual tip, they work much better. I should have changed those years ago, but it's been only recently the price has come down enough to make it worthwhile. I seem to stick to videos under 30 minutes. Yeah, video length is something I didn't used to worry about. But now I'm trying to be a bit more careful about it. So when I first started out, if you look at some of my old videos, the very early ones, when I first started with doing electronics repairs on the channel, they, apart from being horrendous quality and horrendous videos, the context was right, you know, like doing repair stuff, but they were quite long. I'd do like an hour and a half video, maybe 2 hour video sometimes, in one go. Yeah, 5 patrons now. Awesome. Kim, you another one. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Where was I? Distracted by money. Oh yeah, the old video. So the length was quite long, so I didn't worry about it. Basically what I do is I just hit record and just record the whole thing, and that's what went on YouTube. I didn't edit it. If I did a few different sections, I'd just stick them all together in one piece and then upload it, and that's it. I didn't do any editing whatsoever. I just put them together. Then after a little while, I stuck a intro and outro on the video to try and make them look a little bit more professional. And that's when I started to think about what I'm actually doing in the video quality, you know, in that region. Oh, thanks a lot, Kim. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Again, what do you want to see as a reward for being a supporter? I mean, I still want that kind of feedback, you know. So I still want to. I want to reward people which are helping me, you know. More directly helping me. Anyone that subscribes to the channel and watches my videos is helping me in a way. Okay. So I appreciate if everyone just watches. I appreciate that too. But obviously, I appreciate patrons a bit more than that, because they're special people. Simon, yeah, no problem, Simon. That's great, you know. In a way, Simon, you already did support me in a way, right? Because when I first started out, we had some good chats and stuff like that, and you know, nattering and that Marconi 2305, wasn't it? Yeah, 2305. The interaction with that, you know, and that gave me a bit of direction. That was quite good, you know. That could, in a way, you gave me a intellectual boost, right? Think of it that way, right? So you actually helped me out in that way. So you know, that's fine. You know, we had a good interaction at the very beginning there, and we still chat. It's great. Yeah. So. some of the videos as over time, as you look at my old ones, they were really long. I wasn't really focused on the camera work too much. I'm still not doing that well enough, really. My liking, I need to do work on that a bit more. And basically, I was recording with my phone and putting the phone where I thought we could see, and trying to do stuff with that, and just shoving stuff together, just to show what I was working on. That's all I was really doing. It's just trying to say, look, I'm working on this piece of gear. Let's see what happens. Right? And that's kind of what I'm doing now. I helped you get the thing going. Really? How? I've linked to your channel, haven't I? I've got your linked on my little favourites list on my main page there. I suppose that helps maybe. Send some traffic your way. So, I mean, I think when I first talked to you, what did I have? What was it, about 50 or 60 subscribers, something like that? I think that's when I first talked to you, Simon. You had 1,000 or something like that. Just over 1,000 at the time, I think, something like that. So I was the little fish in a big sea back then. Mind you, I still am, really, in the scheme of things. I'm still tiny compared to some of the other channels. But I've come a long way, certainly. But yeah, so the videos now, I'll try and keep them more concise. I'm editing them a lot more. Whereas before, I'd say slap them together, upload them, and there you go, there's the video. And now, especially on mailbag videos, I'm doing a lot of editing. I'm cutting them up and trying to shorten them down, make them more concise, a bit more, improving the pace a bit more, trying to keep them more active, right? Less pauses, less ums and the ahs and stuff like that. I'm trying to be a bit funny in them too, chopping things up. And what I did last time, the last mailbag video I did, I don't know if you saw them or not, I don't know, but I actually chopped them up. I just happened to notice like there's a bit of a rhythm in there, and a bit I've chopped, so I just actually made a little sample, little music sample out of the opening the package up. But I got some thumbs down for that, so I don't know. Go figure. Did people like it or not? No one commented on it. I was trying to be a bit funny, but introducing my musical interest as well a little bit. I'm not a musician, but I've made music. If you look at some of my very first videos on YouTube, the very first ones, you'll see I've got some music tracks there, which are bits of music which I've made. Don't expect too much. I'm not very good, but yeah, it's electronic music. That's just what interests me. So. Well, the voltage reading stuff was to try and help you out. That's what I'm about. The channel was to try and help people, right? That's why I started it. It's because I'm doing these things, I'm fixing these bits and pieces. I'm certainly doing way more now than I ever have as far as fixing things because of the channel. The original plan was to just record what I was working on at the time, whatever it happened to be, and just chuck it on YouTube, and maybe someone will find it helpful, right? Documenting what I'm working on, because there's things in there which someone might, from my experience doing CB repairs, a lot of the times you'll see the same fault over and over again. And I had a very popular CB repair forum on my Radio Mods website, although it seems to have died quite a lot over the years because I don't really use it that much anymore. But the site's still there and everything's still there. It still gets used, it gets traffic, quite a bit of traffic, but it's not as active as it used to be. And I'll see the same faults come up over and over again. I thought, well, rather than repeating myself, I could put it online and say, look, this is what happens with this particular fault, and this is how to fix it. And it'll help all these people out in one go, right? You missed the theme tune. Was it Strip Lights? Oh, I can't remember which one it was now. I think it might have been Strip Lights. Oh, I'm going to have to look now. I shortened it down because when I was looking at the analytics, I noticed that the intro. Oh, why isn't it coming up? Hold on, I can't even find my music now. During the intro, I was losing the most amount of people at the very start of the video. I'd lose a whole bunch. You get this new. If you look at the analytics on YouTube, you see it gradually just comes down like this. Well, in that direction, right, from you. That starts off 100%, and you might lose 50% within the first 30 seconds. Let's try and find it. Hold on, I'm still looking for this thing here. Strip lights. Here we go. Here's strip lights here. Yeah, strip lights. That bit. I'm guessing you can hear it. Yeah, anyway. So, I've done 2 albums now. They were on YouTube, but on iTunes. They have it on iTunes, but you have to pay to be on there. I wasn't really making any money from it. Not enough to warrant it. The price went up, so. Yeah. So where was I? What was I saying before I got distracted again? Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm getting the videos more concise, and I was trying to do a lot more editing to make them smaller. And I'm trying to target certain sizes. Like I'm trying to target just over 10 minutes, like 10 minutes and 5 seconds. The reason being, below 10 minutes you can't stick an advert on the end of the video. So it means I can't get one advert on the video at the very beginning. If I do just over 10 minutes, I can stick another advert on the end. And if it's at the end, people don't care anyway. If it's just left playing, the advert plays, I'll get a little bit of revenue, and it's talking cents, right? But it doesn't affect you insignificantly, you know. Insignificantly, it doesn't matter. If it's at the end of the video, you don't care. You finish watching the video, you're done, right? But if it plays, then I get a little bit of revenue from that. So I try and make sure I'm over 10 minutes if I can. Sometimes I don't artificially stretch it out though. I'll just stop cutting it if I get down to 10 minutes. If it's less than 10 minutes, then it's less than 10 minutes. That's the way it is. I'm going to try and target about 15 minutes, just under 15, like 14, 50s sort of time, just under 15 minutes, just under 20 if I can, just under half an hour if I can, and just under 45 minutes. Those are the times I'm trying to target when I'm doing a video edit. I use Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, but it's got its fair share of bugs. It's one of these things. It's what I went to when I first started doing the YouTube thing. When I started to edit. Okay. So that's just what I went to, because before then I was using QuickTime, Adobe Apple QuickTime, to stitch bits of video together. Right, when I first started, I did a couple of clips. I was stitching together with QuickTime. Just literally just paste it on the back, export it as an MP4, upload it to YouTube. That's what I was doing. All right, really basic, really inadequate. Then I thought, well, I need to make this better. This isn't good enough. And then I did the same thing, but with intro and outro, still in QuickTime. I thought, well, it's better, but still not. It doesn't have the control I want. It's too hard to use. It's glitchy, and it's just played up. So then I went to Premiere Pro, which was a bit of a learning curve, and I'm still learning it now. You never stop learning things like that. It just does so much. And there's things in there which I want to do, and I still don't know how to do them yet. I've still got a lot to learn. But that then allowed me to give me a level of control, and I can adjust the audio levels more easily, and I could zoom shots in a bit more, or things like that, overlays, text overlays, all that sort of stuff. And it progressed through that. And although that's what I'm still using, I don't particularly like it. I suppose that's the way you could put it. It works, it does the job, but it's not nice. It's often a bit slow. I mean, my computer's fairly powerful. It's an old computer. It's a 2008 Mac Pro, right? Actually, sorry, that's my old computer. This one is a 2010 Mac Pro, which has got two dual 6-core 2.9 gigahertz processors in it, right? So it's a pretty grunty machine. It's got 12 cores, right? And even that will make, Premiere will still play around in that a little bit. But it's got bugs in it where, for example, one of the ones I found recently is where if I want to filter out any hiss in audio, because Dave pointed out I had some hiss, and I didn't even notice originally. Didn't he point it out? Oh, yeah, there's hiss there. Well, I noticed that before. And So there's a filter in there. You can overlay the audio, and it can help cut out the hiss and any noise like that in the background. It's a simple little filter. But when I've got that overlaid on the audio, it causes it to crash. If I do any edits after I've put that filter on, Premiere crashes. And the first time I found out what that was and how bad that was, I was trying to edit a half-an-hour video, I think it was. I wasn't in it, it's like a 10-minute video I was trying to edit. It took me 2 hours because of the crashing, because I had to keep going over and re-edit, because it kept breaking. Yeah, I mean, Premiere Pro works for me, but I don't like the bugs, you know. It's an old version, it's CS 5.5, something like that. It's an old version, because I don't want to go to the Creative Cloud version. Right? I do not agree with the whole principle of buying your software every year or every month. Right? I don't agree with that. You buy it, you own it. Right? Any of the software that I've made, if you don't know, I used to write software. Not great, but I did some. There's a few things I've got. Is what lifetime license. You buy it, it's yours, right? Use it forever. I don't care. You've contributed, you've paid for my development, you know, and that's it. So I don't agree with this whole you have to buy it every month thing. You know, no. If a bit of software's got bugs in it and requires updates, that's the developer's fault, not the person that bought it. The person that bought it shouldn't have to pay for that again, because the developer didn't fix the bugs properly. You know, you shouldn't be paying for bug fixes. That's the developer's fault. They should have written the software better. You know. Anyway, that's just me ranting. But actually, I'll show you. Oh, this. If I can remember. Here we go. I'll show you what I used to do. Figure that out. This is my software site, which I haven't touched in years, to be honest. Now, there's a few things I made, which I shall put on the screen. I'll show you so that you know what I'm talking about. All right, so zoom in a bit. All right, so Defpom, that's a bot which I used to use for hotline servers and a personal, like, peer-to-peer file sharing. Something I was into many years ago. This is basically completely obsolete now. Basically, it used to be log onto a server and it administer users, so you can monitor users, see what they're doing, uploading, downloading, and if they were only downloading, not uploading, for example, you could boot them off or send them a warning. It did messaging and help support, and things like that, all sorts of weird things. Completely obsolete now, but it's there for basically historical purposes. Right? Defpom CB radio simulator, that is still current. That is a CB radio simulator, so it helps to do modifications to CB, so you can see what frequencies should be in the PRL circuitry, for example, and diagnosing faults, because then you can see what should be there versus what's actually there. It helps you narrow problems down or work on designs for modifications. Okay, random number generator. I've actually used that when I did my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I used it for that. I actually had some controversy. Some people complain, "Oh, you've rigged it because you used your own bit of software. It's rigged." It's like, oh, come on, you know. What I did is I got all the comments, put them into a spreadsheet, gave them each comment a number. Then I used my random number generator to pick a comment from that list, just based on number. Just pick one, right? It happened to be someone that actually lived not too far away from me, right? Someone in New Zealand within 2-hour drive, right? Less than that, in fact. But they, because of the fact I used my own piece of software to do that draw, people thought it was a bit dodgy. But I wrote this thing years before I even started YouTube. All right. Anyway, so random number generator and speedy file renamer does just that. If you've got a whole bunch of pictures, for example, in a folder, and you've got, say, image underscore number, you could tell it to replace the image underscore with something else, or so you can prepend or append text onto a file name in batch format. So let's go through every file in that folder and do them. That's what it was. Really simple little tool. I'm not even sure if it still works. I haven't used it for years. I don't know. It might still work. I have no idea. But that was across Windows and Mac. I'm on a Mac myself, so these are all ported over to Windows as well. But those were done some time ago. But yeah, so that's my other side of things, my software side of things, which not many people know about. Yeah. So back to the right window so I can see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, if a developer's made a mistake, they should fix their mistake. You shouldn't have to pay to fix the mistake. You know, you shouldn't have to pay for updates or ongoing updates. You know, updates are about fixing bugs and fixing problems or oversights in the software. Why should you pay for updates? You shouldn't. That should be on a developer for getting it right the first time. You know, it's just, yeah, it bugs me. So I will not pay for Creative Cloud software. I will not do it because I don't agree with it. And you know, this whole long-term renting thing, even like Windows 365, was it Office 365 Windows, right? I'm not paying for that. I'm not going to get that because I'm not going to pay monthly or yearly fees for a piece of software. You know, you buy it, it's yours. It's just wrong. I don't agree with that stuff. It really bugs me. It is basically greed. And I hate greedy corporations. I just don't like that whole greed thing. You know, if you're making a profit, great, well done. Why do you want 10 times the profit? Apart from greed, you know. I don't agree with that whole principle. You know, yes, it's the way business works. I don't agree with it. You know, I think it's wrong, morally wrong. That's why I stand on things like that. But yeah, but that's the way the world goes, unfortunately. You know, the people in power tend to have business assets and business alliances, and that's the way it works. Can't do anything about that, that's the way it works. Okay, so we're getting kind of wandering around all over the place, aren't we? So, right, what else do you want to talk about? So you've got you use Sony Vegas, switching DaVinci Resolve. Finally support your Panasonic camcorder audio. I'm guessing, are you on PC? I think you're on PC, aren't you? Or did you say you're on Mac? I can't remember. I think someone said they were on Mac once. I can't remember who it was. Whether it was you or not. Remember. I'm looking it up now at DaVinci Resolve. Because if I can find a bit of software that does what I want, without the bugs or the drawbacks of finding in Premiere Pro, then I'll use that instead. You know, I'm not fixed on Premiere Pro. It's just what I've learned. It's what I've had to learn in order to do what I'm doing. Okay. Right. So where do I download it? I'm looking at DaVinci Resolve now. The screenshots look impressive on a website, at least. Yeah. It's all this, you know, marketing wank on the front page there. I just want a download link. It's scrolling. Here we go. It's right at the bottom of the page. Right at the bottom. Yeah, okay. So if I go to the App Store instead, then it'll probably be in there then, because it's shown as being on the App Store. Let's just do a little search. There we go, it's in the App Store. DaVinci Resolve and DaVinci Resolve Studio. What's the difference? Last update, 3rd of October. Hey, it's currently updated. Excellent. Wow, that's got lots of bug fixes. Lots of bug fixes. Now, does that mean they're bad at writing code because there's lots of bugs to fix, or does it mean they're really good at writing code because they're fixing all the problems? How do you interpret that? Okay, let's look at the studio one. Oh, the studio one's expensive. Okay, right. So the studio one is $450 New Zealand, and the other one is free. And the paid one was updated on 20th of September. Looks like the same kind of bug fixes. It's got the same version number and stuff. Interesting. So I'll have to look into those. Actually, I might just get that free one and just have a look at it, play around with it. Excellent. Wants my password and stuff. Of course it does. What is it? So I can't remember. I never remember the bloody iTunes password. Never remember it. I think I've got it right. I stopped asking. Right. Yeah, I probably did miss a couple of comments actually. I've probably missed lots of comments actually. I might have to read through this later on again. What projects do I do for 3D printer? Now, I did kind of mention this before, I think, but maybe before you joined. Basically, I purchased it to make replacement parts for bits of test gear. Right, so if I've got a piece of test gear that's got broken handles, broken feet, missing feet, that kind of thing, I can make new parts. I don't have any examples laying around either, not right now. But when I was doing the repair on the HP3648A LCR meter, I was telling them to take the cards out, so they slot into a motherboard. They slot down like that into the main chassis, and it's got little levers which you pop up. These levers are used in a lot of HP gear. A lot of other, I've seen it used in other pieces of gear as well. Anything which has got a card that slots in, it seems to have these little same levers in there. And because these cards have basically never been taken out, they're just solid and they're really tight. And the levers broke. I think it broke 2 levers. So I was actually able to use my 3D printer to make new levers for those cars to replace the ones that broke. So I had to buy some filament in the right colour and print new levers out and replace the ones that broke when I was trying to repair the piece of gear. You know, plastic goes brittle when it gets old, but it's not as good as the original levers. Not as strong as the originals, but I actually redesigned them slightly and gave them some more mechanical strength from design of the actual lever. To give it some more strength that way, and I made it for make feet and handles like the Valhalla 2305, 2703. I made new front handles for that because the handles were broken when I got them. So I made new handles and I made new rear feet one side because one of the feet was broken. The other side's actually broken as well, but it's intact enough to be okay. I made new feet for the Fluke 5000A. I've made little bits and pieces like that. I've not done a lot of stuff. I've actually got a Thingiverse page. So anything I've made and designed is on Thingiverse. So again, I'm sharing those things to help other people out as well. Those levers always break. Well, if you've got bits of gear which need those levers, Simon, get a 3D printer because I've got a design for them. Let's put up my Thingiverse page and I'll show you. Where are we? There. Is it there? Yeah, there. I have to sign in because I don't actually have a direct link to my own bloody stuff. It's just ridiculous. I should do that. Come on, log in. Thingiverse has got a thing where it's supposed to remember your password, remember your login. It never does. I can log in, go away from the site for a couple of hours, go back, it's forgotten me again. So let's go to my things, and then I shall drag that window out and show you what things we've got on there. Right, so there we go. There's my Thingiverse page. Hold on, it's a bit big. Need to shrink it slightly. Doesn't quite fit in the window. Right, there we go. So these are all the things I've designed and printed. So there's a bed slack retainer, which probably doesn't interest you too much. It's for a slat bed. We purchased a bed, a second-hand bed, because the other one lost it in the flood. Oh, he's asked about the house stuff, didn't you? House is all sorted out now, it's all fixed, it's all good now. It took a bloody long time. Although I still have to sign off on it yet. Somebody's not giving preview. Why is it not giving preview? Okay, I don't know why it's not doing that. Right, I'm going to have to re-upload that one. Ender 3 control panel rear cover, that's based on somebody else's design. And I modified it slightly. Turned out the one what I actually wanted was available, but I just couldn't find it. This guy which designed a rear cover, I think it's actually like the original version of this rear cover, the first one that got done. And I did a search for rear cover because I'd seen it mentioned somewhere on the YouTube channel. And I wanted to make one, and I couldn't find it, and I found this other one which looked similar but wasn't the same, and it was actually wrong, had errors on it. And it was a copy of the original one which somebody else had done, and they ended up commenting on my one saying, hey, I've already got this one on the original author. And so I had to update my text and references to where I got my one from, because it wasn't actually the original author which I referenced. So but yeah, if I'd found the original one, I would have used his one, because I didn't need to redesign it, because his was actually right. So there we've got the Fluke 5600A calibrated feet. So just little clip-in feet. It's got like a little hook on there. Can I make this bigger? Make it see it. Does make the graphics bigger, cool. So that's got little hooks on there, little L-shaped hooks, and there's a little clip-in piece here. We just flex it slightly, so it'll pop into the bottom of a Fluke 5600A. Got the Valhalla 2703 rear feet. Alright, so I made that. There's the front handles for the Valhalla as well, and the HP levers. So that's that one there too. Alright, so that's that what I'm talking about just now. So I made these a bit beefier. I boosted up this area here. All over there, I made that a bit stronger. I made them thicker, I made them wider as well. They're about 50% thicker through there. I think they were. Did something in there. I made them stronger around there. Also chamfered this edge here as well to make them stronger, so it doesn't tend to break so much there too. But what my ones did is they broke through here. Right, they broke from that hole through there, because actually, although they look quite big, they're actually really small. The pin that goes through there is really tiny. So I beefed up all this area here, and this bit here as much as I could as well. It has to have this cut out here, because some componentry could be near the lever, so you actually have to have a bit of a cut out there to allow for that. But basically I beefed these up and made them stronger. So physically they're a bit thicker, a bit wider, that sort of thing. And the ones I put in haven't broken. And 3D printing is definitely a lot weaker than a moulded part. And this is the other thing I made, is the HP foot. Now this was that what I'm thinking of? Or something else I did? I think that was based on somebody else's design. I modified it quite significantly. Theirs was based on being screwed into the bottom of the casing. I changed this one. I put little hooks on it and like a little clip lever. So this will clip into the bottom of the HP. It has that 3-foot design. Since I designed it, I actually found some proper replacement feet, which are aftermarket ones, which are basically the same as the originals, which have been good. So I haven't had to print any more since then, but I have actually printed some of these out, and they've actually worked quite nicely. So sort of the holes they go into are slightly slotted, so you can kind of put it in, and then this front piece here will latch. That will go through the hole. There's enough of a gap there to go through the hole with that bit, and you slide it back, and then that then latches into it, so it latches between the back of those ones and the front of that one and holds it in place. And yeah, it works alright. So that's what I've got on Thingiverse. I've got my Tinkercad too, I think, somewhere, but yeah. So that's what I've done so far, anyway. I've been using Tinkercad. It works fine for me. It works right. Let's just open it up in the window and I'll show you. I'll go to there as well. I'll drag it into the top window in a second. I'll show you once I'm logged in. Again, it doesn't remember me. No, I don't know what it is. These two sites don't seem to remember my logins. Right. So make sure it's not leaking any confidential information in the process. Right, let's drag this up. Right, so this is a Tinkercad page where I've actually designed all these things. Right, so this is where they originated. You can actually see them a little bit better in here actually. So that's something I didn't bother putting online. It's just a little standoff for a reed switch. That's actually for my house alarm system because my back door was replaced as part of the flood repair, and it was a bit thinner than the original one, and the reed switch for the alarm sensing was not quite in the right place. It would actually go past, cause errors with the sensing. So I made this little standoff here for that. Rubbish bin lid housing, that's something I'm working on. I haven't finished this. It's actually sitting here. I've started it and not got any further with it. I've got two versions here, one there, one here. Yeah, it's not good yet. I've got a little rubbish bin in the motorhome, and that has a missing lid. But part of the requirements being self-contained in motorhomes is that it has to be a sealed bin. So what we're counting is a smaller bin shoved inside the bigger bin, so we've got a sealed bin, right? So we're all fine. But we obviously want to use the bigger bin, and that's what that lid part is for, because it's missing. I want to make one for it, but I haven't quite got it done. It's like the lid, it's got like a curved end on the corners. Yeah, that side, getting shot that way, right? So that goes across and curves, and straight and curves back that way. So it's not like completely rectangular. So I've been playing around with that, but it's not a big deal yet. That's slightly bigger, shall we? And there's that cover I was saying, which I modified. There's a test group foot, you can see it a bit better there actually. There's the slabs for the bed. So it's a simple little thing. Just basically it's a rectangular tube with a couple of pins on the bottom which lock into the rail. So the second-hand bed we picked up, didn't have the mattress. We'd used our own mattress obviously, but our bed was damaged in the flood, but the mattress was scraped. It didn't get to the mattress. The mattress was okay. Because it was a metal frame bed, it all started rusting. So we picked up a used bed, which is I think we paid $150 something for it, with some side tables and stuff. And apart from that, it's actually slightly broken. I actually did a video. I've recorded this video on a repair. I'm going to publish that one day. So it had like a beam that runs along the centre, and with the slats that go from the sides to the centre slat to the centre beam. And the centre beam, someone must have assembled it and not put the support foot on the centre. Right? Supposed to be a support foot in there to hold the beam up. And it's like someone hasn't put that on, and then they've got on the bed and just broken it all. Right? So I had to repair that beam and sort that out, which is why the bed was so cheap. But it had some of these little slat retainers missing. I think it had 3 missing, so I had to make some of these up. And I actually had some comments from people who actually wanted this part. So some people were grateful that I did these because they made some of these for their bed, so that's great. There's the fluke foot there, which you can see a bit better there hopefully. And there's the Valhalla rear foot and front handle and that lever. Right, so it's all the same Tinkercad. You know, it's all pretty easy. Right, so if you've not done 3D design before, I suggest actually going to Tinkercad because it's so easy to learn. Right, now in my day job, I have an influence in some design stuff. Right, so I actually get to overview 3D CAD drawings and critique things and suggest improvements. I can't elaborate too much on what, right? So I try and fix problems before they occur. So I have a bit of understanding the 3D CAD stuff, but it's not something I've actually done. I haven't done 3D drawing before. So when I went to Tinkercad and started using this, I had a little bit of background, but not actually done it before. So I picked this up pretty quickly. You know, it's really easy to make stuff. The very first thing I made was, I think it was the feet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Valhalla feet, the very first thing I made. Sorry, the handle. That's the very first thing I made in Tinkercad. Alright, so not bad, but it's easy to learn. So if you're interested in trying to learn it, then go for it. Go and look at Tinkercad. And there's lots of other ones as well. You know, this is just one. There's many out there. Oh, okay. Catch you later, Simon. Hopefully I haven't missed you already. I'm just going back to the chat with you. So, right. Hopefully yeah, catch you later, Simon. Hopefully you haven't already gone. That's like 4 minutes ago and I've just seen that. Yeah. You designed and built an iPhone screen holder. It is a bit. It does take time. It is a time-consuming thing. I mean, mind you, this slat one here I did here, that was easy. I mean, that was basically draw a box, draw another box inside it as a hole, and then make a couple of pegs to make the shafts. So a couple of cylinders, and then a couple of cones on top of that, and then put another rectangular box down the middle to make them slots. I mean, that took me half an hour, if that. Yeah, what I use for a few times I do phones. I don't do phones very often. I think I mentioned on your video actually about the one I've been given to fix, which has got a touch issue. I think I mentioned on yours, didn't I? When I was chatting to you one time. I've got a Panavice helping hands thing, and that actually works quite well. I'll show you what I've got here. So this thing here, right? So that's currently set up for doing it too. Right? So this sits side on, and you can just slot the screen into it. Get this way, right? So just put the screen in, and it'll just sit in there. It doesn't grip it; it just holds it upright. You know, you don't have to actually grip it with it, but that's what I've been using. So I don't do many phones. It's quite rare. I've done, I don't know, maybe 6 ever. It's not like I do a lot of them. I don't do anything too complicated. But so that works alright for me. You know, it holds it up, doesn't fall over, can't fall backwards, which rips the cables. Kind of important. So yeah, it's anyway. So that's my Tinkercad and my Thingiverse page you've seen there. So if there's anything you want there, just go and search for me. Just look for Defpom on there. I always use the same username, right? The Defpom. Look for that, and you'll find my designs on there. And go help yourself. Use them. I don't care. It's fine. That's what they're for. That's why they're available. That's why they're in a public space, so people can use them if they want them. You know. That's why I do YouTube, because I just want to share stuff. You know, I want to be helpful. Well, good. So it's now been nearly 3 hours. Nearly 3 hours. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this when I go to the. Let's go back to that other view. Hold on. That one. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with the actual stream once it's recorded. I've got it set as DVR on YouTube, so it will it records it and then saves it on YouTube as a video, right? But I think it tends to stop after 2 hours, so this last 45 minutes or so may not even appear. I don't know if it's even going to come up. I don't know. It does weird stuff. I think it like limits to 2 hours or something, and it does weird stuff. But at least my connection's been behaving quite well, so I've only dropped 1400 frames in that time, so yeah, so it's been behaving quite well. Last time I did a live stream, I had lots of problems with interconnection. I had to use my motorhome Wi-Fi because we got wireless broadband in the motorhome as well. When I'm travelling around the place, we got broadband, so I had to wirelessly link to the motorhome to use that motorhome's internet connection because the house internet connection was rubbish. Because I've got wireless broadband here as well, but it's different. This is a point-to-point Wi-Fi, whereas the motorhome is using 4G. So it's a completely different isolated system. So if one plays up, I can use the other one. So what else can we cover? Done lots of chatting, haven't we? Lots of chatting. I've been doing lots of talking. I'm not quite sure which way it works. So the iPhone I've got here. So this is a repair I'm going to be doing. Let's pull this, change pictures. So this repair I've got to work on. This thing here, iPhone 5S, I think it was. Yeah, it's 5S. All right. Touch is intermittent. Doesn't always work. So can it work a little bit? Sure it is. Vibration probably. So you touch it and it doesn't work sometimes, or then it does work. It does seem to be sensing touch where your finger is, so it's not like it's offset or anything like that. It just doesn't. You can move your finger around, nothing happens. I can't actually cause it to fail or cause it to work. I can't make it behave. So I've ordered a new screen, which I'm waiting to arrive. Once that arrives, I'll do a video on this repair. Well, repair attempt, whether it's the screen or not, I don't know. If it's not the screen, then I'm going to have to try resoldering that touch IC, and that's going to be interesting because I've never done one. I've never done any electronic repairs on anything that small before, so that is going to be challenging. Oh, thanks Rob, thanks for dropping in and catching up anyway. I'll catch you next time hopefully. I've got a few weekends where I'm available, so I might be doing live streams every week for the next few weeks with a bit of luck. See how we go. Touch disease on the jumper wire under the touch IC. Okay. Well, I did have issues. There was a bit of corrosion inside there. Was it in this phone or a different phone? No, different phone. I think it's a different phone. I had some corrosion on some plugs. And I had issues with the Touch ID. There's the last phone I did. I actually haven't published that video yet. I need to edit it and put it together. Getting confused. Both of them came from the same person. So, run a jumper wire under the Touch IC. Yeah, that's that. Was that the second or third pin in or something? I think I've seen it. Yeah, I think I've seen you doing it actually. Is it the second or third pin in? Yeah, little jumper wire, little short one, goes just up a little bit onto that track. I think I've seen you doing it. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I'll try a screen first. We'll try the easy thing first, in case it is just a screen. But I've tried pressing on a PCB a little bit on different areas to see if it makes it come and go. No apparent change. So I was thinking if there's a bad connection on the PCB or bad ball or something on the IC, that maybe it would make it come and go by pressing. But I didn't see any correlation between me pressing or not pressing and the fault showing up. So, but yeah, if I have to take the IC off and try and reflow that and do that, that's going to be interesting because I've never done it before. So it could be a very interesting video watching me fumble through that one. It could be very interesting. So I'll record it. I mean, it could be a complete and utter disaster, but I'll record it. I mean, the guy whose phone it is, well, it's actually his wife's phone, but as it is right now, it's unusable. It's no good to them. It's not been used for ages. So, you know, I'll be double checking him, make sure he knows there's a risk that it will be completely screwed if I try and fix it. If it's not the screen, I'll be saying to look, I tried the screen, it wasn't that. I'm going to try resoldering an IC, but it could completely destroy the phone. So he knows ahead of time that it may be dead after that. Whereas right now it kind of works, there's some data on there. I need to make sure he's got a backup of that data and that sort of stuff. Because obviously, I don't know, there might be photos on it, I don't know. I'm not, that's his stuff, I'm not looking at that, you know, I'm not going to look through it. It's private, you know, as far as I'm concerned. So, I'm not going to look to see if there's any photos on it. But, so I need to make sure he's aware that if I do have to resolder the IC, it could be a disaster, or it could fix it. I don't know which way it's going to go because I've never done anything that small. The microscope I've got, I've actually ordered a new one, which I'm waiting to arrive. God, my stomach is grumbling. Right, let's get this out and see what I'm talking about. Now I'm using a cheap Chinese magnifier. Right, it is a microscope, but it's one of these little things. Right, this was actually given to me for free from Banggood. Right, as a review item, so it didn't cost me anything. It actually works okay. It's better than not having one, but it's certainly not adequate for doing that kind of work. Right, the picture quality is not good enough. It does have an HDMI output, I think. No, it doesn't. It's got a USB output. You have to record with a SD card, but it's okay. I've used it a few times in videos. It does work, but and I usually, if I'm using it, I've got the video camera looking at the screen of this thing, you know. But I've ordered a big microscope. It's like, and it's mixed accessories and stuff like that as well. I think it cost me about $900 New Zealand all up. So it's a big microscope, trinocular like, not trinocular. I was going to get trinocular. I ended up getting this USB one, HDMI camera microscope, which Dave featured on his channel recently. I thought, wow, that looks good. I'm going to get that because I like the auto-focusing thing. So I went all out there and purchased that, and hopefully it's not a mistake because I was looking at trinoculars. That's what I was going to get, was a trinocular with a little HDMI camera on it, so I'm going to record video from it as well. Stencil, not yet. I've ordered some stencils. I've ordered some stencils from AliExpress or Banggood or something like that. So I probably won't be able to do the reballing or anything like that until I get that. I do have some solder paste. I don't tend to use solder paste though. I think I've only used it once. This is not what I do. So it's complete. It's a big learning curve for me to have to do that because it's not something I normally do. What was that? Is the IMX290 microscope? Something like, is it IMX290 or 290F or something like that it's called? So Dave did a video on it. Be about 26th, so 2 weeks ago, something like about 2 weeks ago. He had bought one because he had seen some good information about them, and because it's basically the same thing as he had seen at the trade show over there, the electronics expo thing over there, and it's the same thing. So, and it's got autofocus and stuff like that on it, and it's got one. I think it comes with a 180 times lens on it, but you can get 120s and stuff like that as well. So I've ordered that microscope camera with a 180 lens, which comes with a 180 lens. Also ordered a 120 lens. I've ordered a 0.5 Barlow lens, and the microscope stand, and it also comes with a little 10-inch HDMI monitor as well, so I can use that monitor right there whilst I'm working nice. And so if I'm also recording video, hopefully the picture quality from that monitor is good enough to record the video from as well, so you can see well enough. It probably will. I'd rather have a small little 10-inch LCD there than a bigger screen, you know, off to the side, because at least it's right there, right where you're working. So I'm hoping that's going to work out okay. If not, I have to use a big monitor. So HDMI is fine. I can also capture HDMI as well on the computer. I've got HDMI input card, so I can capture that way too if I need to. But that's only just been sent. I ordered it 2 weeks ago, and it's only just been posted. I think it was like a Chinese holiday or something over there. I did get a message from a different purchase I'd made saying they're on holiday. It's Chinese holiday or something. So maybe that's why I got delayed. I don't know. Or maybe there's a huge demand for them because Dave featured on his channel. But so I've got that coming. Expensive as it was, but I've got that coming. And so I hope I'll probably get all the bits together. I might wait for the microscope to turn up. I'll do the screen first. If the screen isn't the issue, then I'll wait for the new microscope to turn up and get all that stuff set up. So let's look at this A60. Let's have a look at that and show. Let's look that up. See if you mentioned it. And oh, that trinocular, yeah, okay. I thought I'd seen the name. I thought I'd seen that A60 around. I didn't know what it was. The one I was looking at, a trinocular I was looking at, just on, I think it was an AliExpress or Banggood. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was on Banggood. Don't remember. But that's just trinocular. Quite a nice base on it, because when you got a microscope, you need a decent base that's nice and stable and doesn't wobble around everywhere, right? So the one I was looking at, it's quite a nice, robust looking base. It has like a square block on the back, so it's got like a L-shaped. Can't really demonstrate it here, but it's got like an L-shaped block on the back. It's got two beams. It's got a dual beam, comes out the back, and it's got a block on the back of it. That one looks more robust. It's also more expensive than the standard single round tube ones. It seems to be more expensive, so I'm guessing that means it's better. So that's the one I was actually looking at before, was getting a trinocular with that. That was going to be about 400 New Zealand, something like that, just over. And I was actually looking at buying one that week when they featured that Martha microscope, and I thought, wow, that's autofocus. That's pretty cool, and that's what swayed it, the autofocus thing. If it didn't have autofocusing, then I would have stuck with my original trinocular thing, right? Now, the thing with this camera as well, which is coming, is that it probably can work on a trinocular. There's a good chance it can. I don't know. I'm not into optics, so I really don't know, right? But it might be able to put that same camera onto a trinocular and still have the autofocusing. It's entirely possible. I don't know. I'm guessing. Maybe someone will try and mention it somewhere. I don't know, but. Yeah, I think even that little cheap little Chinese one there, I think it's like 40 bucks US or something. It's really cheap, right? Really cheap. It works. You know, it's better than not having one, right? So if someone's on a budget, just need something to help them, even if your eyesight's, you know, a bit dodgy because you're getting a bit older. I mean, my eyesight is still okay. I'm fortunate. Although I can tell it's not as good as it used to be, it's still fine. I used to have really good eyesight. I used to be able to read the bottom line on an eye chart. I could read the bottom line. That's how good my eyesight used to be. Now I'm reading about a third line up, something like that. So it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still good. So even that is a good thing to have if you're on a budget. You know, it's 40 bucks US. Yeah, okay, but it's a cheap thing. You don't expect much from it. It's not a wonderful piece of gear, but it's a useful tool. I can buy the more expensive one because I was fortunate enough to budget for it. I've been saving up a little bit of money. I was planning on buying one, and so I've actually had that little bit of incentive to buy a decent one anyway. You know, this was this cheap one is sort of whet my appetite a little bit, I suppose you could say. You know, I thought, right, yes, I can see it's going to be useful. How many times do I work on things that are small which require a microscope? Not often, right? I think the most, probably the hardest thing I've worked on so far is when I was rewinding a precision resistor, right? Because I had a precision resistor in the Fluke 5200A, right? So it's got this precision resistor, like a little flat card with a resistor wrapped around it, okay? A resistance wire wrapped around it. It set a specific value, and someone had damaged it, and I wanted to try and restore that, because obviously the main thing with that resistor is its temperature stability, not so much its value, but its stability. All right, so that's what is the main important thing there. So yes, it's going to be of value when I repaired it, but it's still got the temperature stability. All right, so that's what I was going for. So I had that little wire there, and it's a tiny little thin wire, resistance wire, and I was using a little microscope, and I was able to get that wire and solder it back onto the leg of the resistor. You know, and it changed value slightly, as you'd expect, but it didn't matter. It wasn't what I was going for. I was going for the temperature accuracy. So it takes money to make money. Well, I'm not making money. It's just costing me money. You know, this is everything I'm doing here. I mean, the iPhone stuff. I don't do this as a business or anything. It's just someone I know asked me to fix their phone for them, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll have a go. You know, and I'll charge them what it costs me. I don't do it to make money. You know, maybe I'll charge $10 or something extra for myself just to make it worth it doing. Right. Anything like that, I'll do. I don't really care about the money part of it. I do it because I want to make content for videos. Right, so being able to make content is more important than the money of fixing it to me. Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm not in a business. If I was running a business to fix phones, then sure, you got to make money. You know, like you. Right, you've got to charge for your time. You've got to charge for, you know, the effort and your skills for fixing it. For me, it's just, hey, I'm helping out someone I know. You know, it's a freebie for them, pretty much. You know, I'll charge them a little bit extra just to make it worth my while. Not much, you know, $10, whatever. Don't care, because I want to make content. Yeah, but when I'm doing the test gear, often the bits of gear I buy are things that I want myself anyway. So I'll be looking around for something which I could maybe use, or I see it mentioned in a service manual for something I'm repairing. I might say, oh, there's a piece of test gear asked for. Let's go and look for that and see if I can find one which is broken. You know, that kind of thing. It sort of leads on, but I've got so many bits and pieces now. It's actually getting hard to find something which I can actually repair. You know, trying to find something I don't already have. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's power supply now. I wasn't going to buy one. I actually bought a brand new one from Troubleshooting Technologies, a new Signal one, little single channel one. I bought that for my second lab, which I'm going to set up for doing RF work. But I saw this there, I thought, wow, this is the right price, nice piece of gear, potentially fixable. So yeah, so I got that for me, right? But again, I'm buying things to make video content. I don't have to have that power supply. A lot of these things I've purchased I don't actually have to have. I don't really need them. I'm buying them to make videos, right? Which is why it's expensive to do the channel, you know, because I'm outlaying a lot of money to make content. As much as I enjoy it, I mean, it's my hobby. You know, people spend huge amounts of money on their hobbies. You know, could be, you know, going out fishing or playing golf or whatever it is you do. Right? For me, tinkering with electronics and fixing things and this YouTube channel is my hobby. So I'm investing money in that because that's what I enjoy doing, just like everybody else does. You know, it's just a different kind of hobby, I suppose. Difference is I'm trying to help other people at the same time, I suppose. I don't know. So I went off a bit of a tangent here. What was I talking about before? I don't know. Oh yeah, microscope stuff. So yeah, what a tangent. So I'm hoping that this new scope will help me to do these fine things. You know, like there was a video on that repair I was doing, like a 5200A for that resistor. There was a video of me repairing that. I think it's actually as a screenshot. If you do a search for Fluke 5200A in my videos, look for screenshots, you'll see one with a flat resistor there with the resistance wire on the microscope. You'll see it as a screenshot. I think I've got it as the icon for the video. So it's handy for things like that. When I've been able to do those kinds of little jobs to really fit it. I mean, even on a microscope there, I couldn't see the wire unless the light was on it exactly right. Couldn't see it. You know, it's really hard to see. So having a proper, decent microscope with a much higher resolution and higher magnification, or they claim that's 600 times. I don't think it is. So it'd be good, you know. And plus, it's also got the ability to stream HDMI to my capture card as well. So I've got a little capture unit I can use, plug on a camera to my computer and record through there, or do the SD card recording as well, which is more likely. I'm more likely to do SD card recording and then transfer it over that way. I'm a bit torn about the whole doing a job as a hobby thing, you know, like years ago when I was trying to find what I was going to do as a career, I kind of stumbled into what I'm doing now. I didn't really have any conscious thought about what I'm doing right now, but I did consider going to electronics because that interested me, obviously, and then I sort of thought, well, if I go into electronics, I'm going to be living, breathing electronics all day, every day, doing monotonous, potentially boring work for somebody else, most likely, with very little control of what I do and very little creativity, right, in that way. So I thought, well, I could go into that, but I thought, well, I don't want to potentially ruin something I love doing. So it's a bit torn on me. If you're self-employed like you are, then it's a bit easier, I suppose, because you can choose what you want to do. You can guide your path about what you want to do. But back then, as a teenager, it's like, well, if I go into electronics, I'm going to be doing something which somebody else wants to do. It could be something I absolutely hate, and that might ruin it. So I just went and did something completely different, and just kept electronics for me, and I still enjoy it now. That's great. So, well, this stream's been going for over 3 hours so far. I can certainly talk, can't I? Mind you, my throat's getting a bit dry now. So, yeah, so I've got an iPhone I need to try and fix once I get the bits to turn up. So I'll be trying the screen first, then my hope is the screen. But I've never solved anything that small before, so that's going to be quite a challenge. Yeah, so so you've set up your lab, Ian. So you set up your lab, Ian, obviously because you enjoy it, and you're working from home yourself now too. So you're seeing those voltage references and things like that. So you're doing well out of it. You're enjoying yourself. That's great. And yeah, but I didn't want to potentially risk having a day job which would then make me go off my hobby and what I enjoyed. There's a risk of, obviously, you could be merging the two together can be wonderful. You might find that you get the right job and you get the right circumstance and it fits perfectly with what you're happy doing, and it'd be great, right? My current day job, which I've had for 25 years, I actually really enjoy, right? Now, it's completely different to what I'm doing here. It's not the same. It's completely separated. Nothing like it. But I enjoy it because it uses some of the same skill sets. Right? So I'm doing a lot of problem solving and diagnosis things, all right? Pretty much on a daily basis. So I get a lot of challenge and enjoyment from it. So although it's not electronics, it's still enjoyable. So I actually enjoy my job. Now, not many people can say that, and I'm lucky. Lots of people have jobs they absolutely hate because that's what they have to do to get the food on the table, right? And yeah, I've been there, done that, right? But the job I'm in now, I'm fortunate. I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy going to work. Still got a day job though. Oil biz, really interesting. Does the wife understand electronics? No. She has no interest at all in anything technical like electronics or web design or software. My wife is a very intelligent person in her own right, but she doesn't have the same interests. These are different interests. So we complement each other. She's got skill sets which are different to my skill sets and stuff like that, which is great. We've been together for 8 years now, my wife. So she's my second wife. I did have another one before that, which didn't work out quite so well, as happens. Second time around, you get it right, hopefully. Seems to be that way so far, at least. Wife rolls her eyes at you. Yeah. I mean, my wife doesn't roll her eyes at me. She knows that this is what I enjoy, and she's fine. She doesn't mind me spending time doing this. She knew when we got together that, hey, this is I do electronics and I tinker with things and I fix things, and that's that's all right. She actually likes it because she benefits from it in a way. Because when she breaks her computer, I fix it. When she spills her coffee on her computer, I fix it. She breaks her phone, I fix it. So breaks her car, I fix it. So that's all good like that, but it's fine. it's entertaining. You know, we actually work together in a. She has a business as well, like in a way. She works. She has a couple of jobs. Really, she's got day jobs like everybody else. You know, works for somebody else, but she also has a business she runs, which works weekends, and not every weekend, which is why I'm here now doing a live stream. Because when she's working, I'm with her helping her. Right, we work together. I support with the business, and I actually done all the web design and server administration type work, set up server back end, and we do a lot of entry system stuff, and I've also written all the results system and stuff like that as well for her to use as well. So she uses all the stuff I've written for her to use for her business. So we work together like that. We actually share that job. You know, she's basically her business, but I help her with it. And I actually get criticised for being paid instead of a volunteer. Go figure. Even though it's her business, I just help her. Not from her, from people outside. The business is basically it's an associated event thing. So it's traditionally been a volunteer kind of thing. So people volunteer their time, give up their time for free, right? Do these things on weekends. And as it's got busier and busier, that's been hard for people to manage it, right? Because there's a lot of work people volunteers to do, right? Doing a lot of work for no pay. It doesn't generally go well for very long. And my wife set up a business doing it because she got asked to work for these people and these events, and said sure, but she did a few for free initially just to get a feel for it and learn how to do it, and then start to charge a fair amount, right? I say a fair amount, I mean a reasonable amount, not a lot, right? Enough to make it worth going and spending a weekend at these places, losing a weekend, and for the the costs involved of travelling and that sort of stuff, right? So, and we get criticised because of charging to do the job which other people used to do for free. The thing is, we're being asked to work these events and go to these things. We're being asked to do that. People are inviting us and saying, we want you to work for us because we need someone who knows what they're doing. We need a professional, not someone which kind of can do it but not, they're doing their best because they're volunteer, and you expect that. You don't expect perfection from volunteers. That's what you get. You may get perfection, but there's a good chance you won't. And because it's been traditionally done by volunteers for free, and my wife charges for the service, there's criticism, and a lot of criticism is directed directly at me because I wrote the systems and I built the website and I manage all these things and create all these new innovations, and yet when I don't get any credit for this in the community, right? Because apart from the people which know us directly, we actually get criticised from people outside of that saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing paid work. You shouldn't be getting paid for that. Other people do it for free." It's like, well, we're getting asked to do it. We don't say, "Hey, we want you to pay us to do this job." They asked us to work, and we said, "Yeah, sure. This is what it's going to cost," and they've chosen whether to hire us or not. And well, a lot of people do. Anyway, I'm waffling quite a bit about this. But yeah, that's completely off topic. So it's the second thing we do, actually working together. So we do actually work together as well, even though we've got different interests. But it's that particular thing we do work together. So yeah. Right, I've been waffling now for over 3 hours. I should probably cut it short. Well, not cut it short, but cut it off and call it a day and go and get another coffee. So, anything else you want to pop up in the chat before I disappear? Any more questions? Any more ideas about things I can do for Patreon supporters? That'd be great. I did. Was it? Yeah. I did a little trial. YouTube, we've got a little thing now where you can do a premiere. They call it a premiere video, right? which is it's a bit of a cross between a normal published video, which just keeps me focusing, a normal published video and a live stream. It's a cross between the two. So you got the chat and everything there, and it's at the scheduled time. Now I did a couple of those premieres a few weeks ago, and people hated them because they come along to go and look at the video, and there's no video there because it's not at the scheduled time yet. All right. So when I do videos, I've actually scheduled them ahead of time, and I tell them like release at this time of day on this date, right? And I thought, oh, it'd be good because it could combine the chat, and it gives notifications about the video being launched. And although it did have some good response from the YouTube side of things, it got a lot of views, it got notifications sent out, stuff like that. People hated the fact that they went to this video and there was no video there yet, and that it was dived. Although it performed well, people hated it, but it performed well. And I did another one a couple of days later, or the next day or something like that. I did an extra video to try and make up for the fact that the first one wasn't very popular, and or the first method wasn't very popular. And I did the same thing again, same result. So I was like, well, okay, so I'm not going to use that premiere feature then because people don't like it. So even though it's like almost exactly the same as I normally do, which is uploading a video ahead of time, scheduling it, and then it publishes and goes live at that time. The difference is that this just said, hey, this video's going to be released. It publicly announces that it's going to be released ahead of time with the chat and everything the other side, so you can chat and talk about it at the time it comes up and everything. It's actually, to me, it thought like it's a great idea, but people hated it because they went there and it was nothing there. There was no video yet because it wasn't released. So anyway, all right. So I'm gonna stop waffling again. So if you've only just joined, I see the watching things start creeping up again. So I'm just signing off now. This has been, I've been streaming for now like over 3 hours. So go back and watch it. It's been recording, so it's all watchable. I've been doing a repair on a piece of test gear, and I've been talking a lot about Q&A and chatting about stuff and a bit of background about me and circumstances and stuff like that. So if you're only just catching the end now, flick back and watch the rest of it. You might find it interesting, hopefully. I've repaired one of the faults on the power supply. There's one fault which I cannot repair, not yet, because I don't have the part. But I can make it work, and I've demonstrated it working and how to resolve that fault. So hopefully you find it interesting. Right. So thanks everyone for watching, and it's good to catch up with you all. And I'll catch you guys around. And so I'll probably do another live stream this time next week, or well, 3 hours before this time next week. If I've got something to record, I'm hoping I've got parts or I've got something else I can work on. I'll do another stream. Whilst I've got the opportunities, I want to try and do them. Right, so thanks you guys for watching, and thanks everyone that's sat down onto the Patreon as well. Joined in that. That's great. Thank you very much. And catch you later. Bye.